it will be full live commentary of the second of our matches this afternoon from Tynecastle. It'll be Heart of Midlothian against Aberdeen. Right now, though, just about to get underway in the next few minutes. Full live commentary from Perth. It is St Johnstone against Rangers. Derek Ferguson and Ryan McGowan alongside Paul Mitchell.
Thank you, Richard. Good afternoon, everybody. St Johnstone against Rangers. So Rangers 4 points from 5 away games, their lowest total since 1987-88 under Graham Souness. And they're hoping to try and find a way to win here this afternoon. St Johnstone being the traditional home colours of the blue jerseys, white shorts, blue socks topped off with white. Rangers almost the inverse, the white jerseys, blue socks, blue shorts, blue socks with a little white bit as well. So they're getting ready to come on. The two captains have been down below. They're both trying to get the attention of their teammates to say we're switching round, and Nicky Clark wanders his way into the centre circle. Our referee is Stephen McLean, took charge at Tynecastle last week, in which one of the officials was injured and had to be replaced. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. Today that was quite a long interlude as that happened. So Stephen McLean carries the ball to the centre spot. Rangers through. Ingham will get ready to bring it underway. And he just has a word with his goalkeeper, who runs past him. So St Johnstone unchanged. Josh Ray in goal. The back four of Wright, Sanders, Akulic and Raymond, Carey, Spangler and Holt, with Nicky Clark just in front, and Kirk and Kimpioka are the players up front for St Johnstone. For Rangers, Jack Buckland in goal, James Tavernier alongside Suter, Proper and Jeffrey, Barron and Raskin, the holding midfield players, Cherney, Hadji and Bayrami, and Ingham up front. Ianis Hadji starting again for Rangers for the first time since May of 23, when he played against St Mirren in a win. He came off the bench against St Johnstone earlier this season and was sent off. We're underway in Perth, the part of a double header here on BBC Radio Scotland, and Rangers have it through Proper. On to Jeffrey. Jeffrey lifts it over the halfway line, looking for the run of Hadji. Hadji got there with a head flick, but it's Sanders who gets it away, but it'll break down to Bayrami. Bayrami plays it infield, and Rangers gather and clip the ball back to the halfway line. Proper long on the angle, looking for Cherney on that far side. Raymond comes across to take, just sees enough of the ball, can play it away. And there's a chance for Kimpioka to take on Connor Barron down on that left-hand side. He's getting the better of him, trying to get away from Raskin as well. He's almost emerged with the ball, but he's fouling, said Steve McLean. That could have gone either way, Ryan McGowan.
Oh, yep, the old chestnut. The Rangers get that one, don't they, earlier in the game? But that's the difference with Kimpioka. He's just got that pace that's really scary, and interesting so far with the diamond shape that St Johnstone got to set out. If you can switch the ball quickly from Rangers to get out to the fullbacks, it means that Carey has to go out or Jason Holt has to go out to the other side, and it really stretches the game, and it almost becomes a sort of chess game in terms of St Johnstone will want them to sort of play through the middle, but if Rangers can switch it quickly, then they'll get some opportunities along the sides.
Well, getting back to that chat, I mean, Kimpioka, showed his power and his pace there, and got to remember, it's a contact sport. He's out muscle Barron, a wee chance.
Long ball over the top, always all the way through to Josh Ray. Here's Derek Ferguson.
Yeah, and it was Barron and Raskin. He just out-muscled them, and get possession of the ball. But referees all too quickly want to, give an infringement, give a free kick. Not for me. So you got to remember that it's a contact sport. Let the guys go on with it.
Positive start for St Johnstone. John Suter sees the ball high in the air, but he's pushed over by Benji Kimpioka, and again, shoulder to shoulder, the Rangers man went down. Free kick awarded. Rangers have it inside their own half. 2 minutes gone, 0-0. James Tavernier just joining us. Dujon Sterling has got a nerve issue, therefore he doesn't play today. So James Tavernier, who hadn't started any of the previous two, back in the side. Raskin gathers inside his own half, plays it on to Connor Barron. Barron flicks it out wide onto Tavernier. Tavernier tries to play it forward towards Cherney. Cherney gets the touch, and Andre Raymond will be there. Plays it back to his goalkeeper, and Ray plays it away very quickly out to Jason Holt on that left-hand side. Holt inside to Clark, onto Kimpioka on the halfway line. St Johnstone have started brightly. Ball played back onto Raymond. Free kick that time goes against Rangers.
A big celebration from the St Johnstone fans. They feel a little bit harshly done by in the first opening minutes. But yeah, I think St Johnstone has set up well. They've got sort of dangerous players around the pitch. You know, Nicky Clark in the 10 role was really intelligent. He gets into good spaces, and yeah, it's been a positive start from St Johnstone.
I think Nicky Clark's a big player for St Johnstone today. You know, that Ryan just touched on it. He's clever. You know, he'll just drop into the middle of the park when need be. But you know, in an attacking sense, he'll be up there looking to produce.
Raymond has been 3 men. He's gone outside the box on that left-hand side. Tavernier comes in, blocks the ball. It goes behind. St Johnstone have a first corner, and Andre Raymond was weaving his way through there.
He's been impressive so far. You know, he's got great delivery like you've seen last week. He's kind of solid at the back, and yeah, you know, it's only what 5 minutes into the game, but I think St Johnstone have shown enough in these 5 minutes. It's not going to be an easy game for Rangers.
Corner kick to St Johnstone to come from the left-hand side. Jason Holt goes across to take it. Mikulic is up. The ball comes in, doesn't beat the first man. Headed away by Barami. Barami then plays it on to Czerny. Czerny on to Egeman. Egeman on the halfway line. Cuts the ball inside. Plays it behind Czerny. St Johnstone were scrambling to get back, but Rangers present them with the ball, and Nicky Clark, the captain, has it. Plays the ball back onto Sprangler. Sprangler on to Sanders inside his own half. Decides to turn. Play the ball back to Josh Ray. 6'3" goalkeeper from Inverness. Starting now for the 11th time for St Johnstone. Played out wide onto Dre Wright, experienced fullback, touches the ball inside. Graham Carey has it immediately, head up, looking to see what his options were. Mikulic on the inside onto Jason Holt, back to Sprangler, the Austrian. Austrian plays it forward onto Kimpioku, does a lovely nutmeg of Hadji, keeps the ball and then plays it on to Clark. I think they're confusing themselves with the Netherlands in the 1970s at the moment.
I tell you what, Paul, Philip Clement was wondering how St Johnstone were going to set up, how they were going to play. Well, I'll tell you what, they're going to have a go, that's for sure, because they've started ever so well.
Raymond with a ball into the box, might break out wide, but Rangers get there. Bayrami under a little bit of pressure, and it's knocked away. Well, all credit to St Johnstone again, moving forward quickly down the left-hand side, playing it forward, and Edin Bayrami, the Albanian, isn't really there for his defensive duties, but he had to be. Thrown in by St Johnstone. The opportunity will come. Opportunity for Keary to swing the ball, and takes one bounce away from Jason Holt and goes behind. It's been a very lively start indeed. 5.5 minutes gone. Goalless so far on Sportsound.
Yeah, and it's been a very positive start from St Johnstone. You know, that was actually decent defending from Tavernier at the back post area. So yeah, they're playing some lovely stuff, St Johnstone. But when they need to get the ball forward, get the ball into the box, they're doing that as well. So mixing the game up pretty well.
Simo Malakari trying to make his presence felt in the technical area. He'll be happy with the brightness that he's seen from his side so far. Ball out of play on that far side. 0-0. Raymond has it. Just plays it off Czerny just inside the St Johnstone half on that left-hand side. And the throw will come again from Andre Raymond, just 24 years old, Trinidad international player, enjoying his first season here. Ball is hooked from left to right. It's going to take a bounce. Dre Wright wins the header, but he's going to lose out to Bayrami. Bayrami will play it round, and here's the opportunity for Jefty to get forward, but the Brazilian edged away by Dre Wright. And Sanders has it. Sanders plays it inside onto the Croatian. Mikulic now sends it on the angle. Mackenzie Kirk made the run. Just a little bit overcooked for the pass, but again, there's a little bit of space there, Ryan.
Yeah, it's the right idea, and you know, Rangers are struggling a little bit because St Johnstone are playing two up front, you know, two boys who are really quick in behind, but Nicky Clark's dropping into that area. They can't really go tight with Nicky because it leaves so much space behind, but at the same time, if they do drop in because they're scared of that ball over the top, it allows Nicky Clark to get on the ball in that 10 role and be able to turn and face them. So yeah, it's a little bit of a chess match at the moment, but Rangers just need to take a bit more control of the game, get a few more passes like what St Johnstone have been doing, and then we'll see how it pans out after that.
Butland plays it forward over the halfway line, taken down on the chest by Jack Sanders. Sanders moving forward. He's got a little bit of space to run. Robert Proper might have the pace on him. Sanders, though, gets away from him to the byline. Chips the ball across. Oh, great header away by Tavernier. Kimpioka was winding up the bicycle kick, trying to get the volley into the back of the net, but Tavernier was there to head the ball away. Terrific play from the centre half, Jack Sanders.
I tell you what's really worrying, you know, a centre back versus centre back. Proper was really struggling with pace.
Andre Raymond tries the shot, just goes wide again. St Johnstone moved the ball quickly
struggling
down the left-hand side.
Proper struggling. He's already... You know, he's been pretty vocal over the last couple of weeks how he's finding it tough in our domestic league. And when he was dragged into a wide area there, you know, and he was asked the question, it was Sanders. You know, I don't know, Ryan.
He is quite quick.
Is he quite well? It looked it, didn't it? Because
quick,
there was only one winner there, you know, and it's actually quite worrying when you see Proper struggling as badly as that. So you wonder if he goes up against, you know, a real flying machine, you know, but I think he's already, and it's just, you look at the body language, looks as if he's looking for a way out already.
Well, if you're Mackenzie Kirk or Benji Kimbayoka, you're already taking note of that, thinking, yeah, fancy my chances. Here come Rangers over the halfway line, 0-0, 8.5 minutes played. Bayrami picks up, touches the ball on the inside. Rangers in the white jerseys, blue shorts, St Johnstone the reverse. Now that's played against Raskan, and it's picked up by Kirk. Kirk plays it out wide onto Kimbayoka. He's attacking the edge of the area. He's up against Suter, twisting, turning one way, then the other. He's been pushed away by Suter, though, and then Raskan plays the ball back to the edge of the area. Then Strangler, well, it opened up for a shot for him, didn't fancy it, and Rangers get the ball away. And Sanders, up against Igaman, will play the ball back to his goalkeeper. I think it was a real chance for the trigger to be pulled there.
Yeah, it's just sloppy from Rangers. I think it's a bad pass from Proper to Raskin, takes a bad touch, and it's St Johnstone should really be doing better. I think it's 3v3. The opportunity to get a shot across doesn't happen, and yeah, it's a big warning sign for Rangers.
Rangers the type of team that will make you pay. Bayrami moving forward, gets away from Sprangler up at the edge of the area, tries to drag the ball through Sanders, can't do so. Sprangler wins it, plays it forward on to Nicky Clark, enjoying that roll at the tip of the diamond. Now turns, plays it forward, looking for the run of Kirk. Kirk against Proper. Proper goes in there, miscontrolled it, and then got it back to his goalkeeper at the second attempt. Butland, it was an awkward one, bounces the ball away, and it comes out. Carey gathers, he just passes the ball away with a head onto Connor Bannon against.
He's all over the ship.
He got lucky, didn't he?
Yeah, he's all over the ship. It's clear to see he ain't comfortable there when he gets dragged into a wide area. Yeah, I think the manager should already be looking at that, you know, if he can make a change. I know he's got Balogun on the bench, but you know, look at the signs. He's bending down there. He's showing signs that he's really struggling. I think he wants out of there.
Yeah, I think he has picked up a slight knock, but he is certainly making it known that he's got it.
It was the first real sprint of the game that you had to go, you know, and he was well warmed up. You know, we're not talking the first minute, we're talking 5 minutes into the game. He was asked the question, you know, go up against Sanders, match him over 20 yards, and he failed miserably. And you can see the body language now. He wants off.
Well, it's interesting. I'm watching what's happening with John Suter. John Suter's trying to communicate with the bench and indicating that Robin Proper's in trouble. He's looking across to his defensive partner, not saying a word to him. Not sure there's a chemistry there at the moment.
You can also see Nicky Clark speaking to the strikers just to say this is, just, you know, play off him or try and get off him. And, you know, strikers feel that when you feel, you know, as a defender, if you sort of get, you know, outpaced or outmuscled, you can sense that the striker's like, oh, here we go. And then this is what they're targeting.
Targeted Proper there, comes through Kirk, wins the header. Falls down to Jeff Dayton, who turns, plays the ball back to his goalkeeper inside his penalty area.
Paul, and it's interesting what Ryan says there, because sometimes, you know, players should be thinking about the game, thinking for themselves. So it's clever from Nicky Clark saying, listen, he's struggling, let's test him, let's get a ball over the top and see if he can handle it.
Lovely play to get the ball out wide. Here's the opportunity for Bayrami. Plays it on to Jeffy. Into middle it goes. Igaman almost came through. It's a great pass out wide by Ayanis Hadji to get things moving. And the ball out of play. Thrown to Rangers. 20 yards from the corner flag. Thrown into Proper. Proper takes the touch. Gets rid of it first time on to Raskan. Raskan back to Hadji. Hadji now flicks the ball out wide onto that far side. Onto Tavernier playing against St Johnstone for the 30th time today as the ball gets knocked clear. Nicely done.
Tavernier,
the edge of the area.
Tavernier needs more from his striker there. You know, the big switch has gone across the pitch. You need your striker to come across onto the opposing centre back to have a bounce pass, and you know, I think it was Igamami there that just didn't get across quick enough, and it makes it look like a poor pass. But that's the only ball that Tavernier has on.
Suter plays it out wide, looking for Jeffy, level with the penalty there, out wide on the left hand side, rolls it in behind two players. Sprangler will gather, plays it to Clark, gets it back, bundled over by Raskin. Free kick is awarded Wasn't sure if the referee was going to allow play to continue. Brian McLaughlin is pitch side for us this afternoon. Movement in that Rangers technical area.
Yeah, Liam Balogun's been going through the set pieces with Colin Stewart. He's just gone out for another warm-up, but yeah, there is certainly a big doubt about Robin Cropper and whether he can continue or not. Well called by Fergie early on.
Jeffrey with a challenge, just knocks over Graham Carey, and Carey ends his side a free kick.
You can see when he's comfortable, and Ryan's played in those areas. You know, when the ball's coming up, he enjoys, you know, the physical challenge. But when the ball's in the deck, wide areas, when he's asked to go out into those wide areas, he's really struggling. You know, he's showing signs that he's got a strain of some sort. But I'm thinking, I'll be quite honest with you, the way I'm thinking, I just think he wants out of there.
0-0 so far, 13.5 minutes gone on a Sunday afternoon in Perth. Long ball from the goalkeeper Josh Rakeham all the way through onto Jack Butland. St Johnstone, a couple of early opportunities, have not scored in the last 7 games against Rangers. It's been over 7 years since they've scored at Ibrox. Blair Alston, the last player to do so. And it's the 3rd meeting of the season between the sides. Rangers 2-0 at Ibrox on the 6th of October. Maclav Cherney, 1 in each half. And League Cup tie played at Hampden. Dessers and McCausland 2 second half goals. So Rangers haven't found it easy in the first half against St Johnstone this season. Tavernier plays the ball forward onto Cherney. Cherney away from Raymond, flicks the ball out wide, tries to get it back again. Iggerman on that far side. Raymond goes to ground, knocks the ball out of play. Iggerman decides to leave the throw. James Tavernier will come across to take. Tavernier looks to see what the movement is ahead of him. Iggerman drops the ball back down to Tavernier. On to Raskin, who split the central defenders. He's gathered and brought the ball over the halfway line. Jeffrey was too slow to make the run on the left-hand side. Hadji gathers. He'll try and push it out wide onto the yellow-booted Maclav Cherney. Cherney up at the edge of the area, up against Jason Holt. Steps inside. Great shot, great effort, just wide. Goalkeeper threw himself to his left-hand side, but the power was in the shot, but it was just off target. Yeah,
best moment for Rangers so far in this game. You know, ball fed wide to Cherney, and he's got one thing in his mind, and he's done it so often this season. You know, cutting in from that right-hand side on his left foot. I tell you what, he fizzes it just past that left-hand post. So St Johnstone players, if you look at from that perspective, they've got to get out a little bit quicker, because if you allow him to get the shot off, he's certainly got a finish in him.
So Johnson come over the halfway line. Kirk goes down, draws the free kick against Proper. Proper opens the arms out wide as if say, come on. It was never ref, but the free kick was given. And Nicky Clark again communicating. He's a good communicator though, Nicky Clark, right?
Yeah, sometimes he talks a little bit too much. As most strikers and number 10s do, don't they? Everything has to go around him. But what I like from a Rangers point of view is that they've started putting up a few tackles in, making a few fouls. You know, you forget that this is a proper game. You know, St Johnstone aren't just going to roll over and let you tickle their tummy. They're going to have to make it hard for themselves, and Rangers need to make sure that St Johnstone know they're in the game. So it was Proper put a tackle in. Raskin put a little late one in. You don't mind that. You know, you need to set out your stall. You need to be like, I'm playing for Rangers. You guys have started well. We're going to nibble back at you, and then we'll play a football match. And that has to happen. And sometimes I think, you know, I'm not saying that the Rangers players forget that, but sometimes it looks like they come out and be like, well, we're going to play our style of football and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but Ryan, there lies the problem. You've got to start like that. You know, you can't wait. I don't know what we're into the game here.
16.
You know, 16 minutes. You know, if you go up against better quality, you know, already Kim Puelka's had a fabulous chance. You know, you can find yourself 1 or 2 goals behind. So you've got to start like that. You can't wait 10, 15 minutes into a game.
Conor Barron over the halfway line, moves up towards the edge of the area, into Bayrami. Bayrami back to Hadji, onto Conor Barron, yet to score for Rangers. Plays it to Jeffy. Jeffy back on the inside, onto Raskin. Raskin to Tavernier. Tavernier's got Cherney outside him. That's where the ball goes. Now he flicks it back over the top into the box. Here comes Tavernier. Lovely touch, still going through. Too many blue jerseys to get past. The Jack Sanders hooks the ball out of play on that far side. Rangers' best chances so far coming down that right wing. The ball thrown in back onto Cherney. Cherney to Tavernier. There's the interchange. Jason Holt out very quickly on Cherney. The check goes down and goes out of play. I was just saying check bounced because he didn't really bounce back up in the way you thought he would have done, because the ball was still there to be won. Jason Holt, you know Jason Holt as well, having played against him, he is tenacious.
He's a great little player. You know, what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in Endeavour, and I think it's been a really clever signing from St Johnstone, because he just gives you that little bit of everything that you want from a St Johnstone player. He's neat and tidy on the ball. He'll put his foot in. He works as hard as he can, and yeah, you know, he's had a wonderful career that he's had, and I remember him as a young boy at Hearts when he was trying, you know, sort of breaking through, and you could tell even from an early age that he would go on and have a good career at this level, which he certainly has.
Back now playing with St Johnstone in this top tier. Certainly doesn't look out of place. Played with Livingston last term as the ball gets played out wide for Rangers. Here's Cherney. Cherney plays it through by Rami. That's going to just be too far. The ball goes behind. And Derek Ferguson also alongside me. When you're playing against Rangers, you have little moments. You think, right, can we get to the first 20 minutes? Let's evaluate, see who we are. Well, the evaluation from Sino Valakari would be pretty happy.
Yeah, but I think Valakari already spoke about, you know, that when you have moments in the game, when you go up against a side like Rangers, you've got to take them. You know, they've already had a fantastic opportunity. They've not took it, but they've been very impressive in the game. Yeah, Rangers are starting to get a little bit of a foothold in the game, a little bit better movement off the ball, a little bit more intensity, you know, in terms of Ryan was touching on it, you know, making a few challenges, getting close to people, because it doesn't matter who you play against. If you sit off players, you know, they're going to hurt you. They're going to find a way. So Rangers, it's took them 16 minutes, you know, to kind of adjust to the way St Johnstone have been playing, and they're starting to, you know, start to get a little bit of foothold and start to get themselves up the park.
Proper plays the ball from inside his own half onto John Suter. The Scottish international's fouled as it comes over the halfway line. Correct call by referee Stephen McLean, and he's helped back to his feet by Mackenzie Kirk. It
was a correct call, but I like when John Suter does that. I like when he breaks forward, you know, creates little overloads, you know, and carries. But I'm not so sure whether the manager enjoys seeing him that, because I don't think he'd like to see proper left isolated there at the back. So I think that's why we don't see John Suter breaking the lines as much as he should. Comes forward again, plays it forward onto Igaman. Igaman gathers up at the edge of the area. Onto Hadji. Hadji plays it out wide onto Tavernier. Back onto Cherney. Cherney, 20 yards from goal. Up to the edge of the box. Two Rangers players miss the ball, and it's swept forward. And now here's a foot race. Kibayoko trying to get the better of Suter. Suter goes in, scoops the ball up, and it's at the edge of the box. Butland has to head it. He's lucky he gets it onto Raskan and not to Mackenzie. Raskan forces the ball back. Butland inside the 6-yard box. Now has to play the ball clear. Does so up towards the halfway line. Well, Butland had to gamble and play it with his head, and he got away with it. Igaman now chests the ball inside onto Hadji from the centre circle, taken down by Raymond. Raymond said he got the ball, but I thought he played the man first, and the referee decides to bring out the yellow card, which I think more for the move that was ended rather from the actual style of tackle. Yeah, it was always going to... first of all, we could get back to that. I tell you what, Suter's not slow, but Kibayoko, he made up, what is that, 10 yards? Oh, he was flying past him, but he was clever, Suter, you know.
Yeah, he got his body across.
Yeah, making contact, and he had to do that because Kibayoko was away. Yeah, Raymond there, you know, I think it was a challenge he had to make, you know. It's that old one, take one for the team, because Rangers were breaking on St Johnstone, but it's a lively old game we've got here. 0-0 so far, 21 minutes gone. Here comes Connor Barrett from the free kick, plays it out wide onto Cherney. St Johnstone, everybody back behind the ball. It's into Tavernier. Tavernier into the box. Just gets headed outside the box to that right-hand side. And Mackenzie Kirk looks up, sees absolutely nobody, so he tries to go backwards, and he's doing so. He's being forced back by Proper, so he turns and spins, plays it forward. Graham Carey thought he was being pushed there, but the ball lands on the halfway line, and James Tavernier is there. Tavernier lays the ball off onto John Suter. A little bit of light rain falling in Perth now as the ball comes back to Raskan. Raskan to Connor Barrett. Here's Hadji. Hadji coming forward. Tackled by Carey. Won the ball. Hadji wanted the free kick. No, said the referee, and now it's Jason Holt who can get the ball out wide onto Kibayoko. Kibayoko up against Tavernier. Holds him off. Moves it into the midfield. Plays it onto Sven Sprangler. And Sprangler sends it out wide. Mikulic on the inside onto Sanders. Sanders gathers out wide onto the halfway line, right hand side, Dre right. Graham Carey flicks it forward. He played it off Jeffrey. Out of play it goes. And here are the thoughts of Ryan McGowan.
I think if you're Benji up front, you're going over to the other side, because if that was, I think Proper would be looking at it being like, oh, thank God that was John Suter there and not me in that foot race. And you know, as much as Rangers have sort of came back into the game, sort of last 10 minutes, it's definitely set up to be an interesting game, and you know, one that St Johnstone after 22 minutes will be pretty happy with how their game plan's been working so far.
Derek Ferguson also alongside me. It's a great point Ryan makes, that the switch of the two forward players will be very interesting at the moment. We'll get your thoughts as Rangers come forward. Hadji out wide onto Bayrami, outside the box, left-hand side, back inside onto Hadji. Hadji on the right foot, up at the edge of the box on the left-hand side. Tried to play it inside, did get it away from Strangler. But again, good defending. It's Dre Wright who plays the ball away. And it's up to the halfway line it goes, where John Suter will gather. Knocks it with his right boot. Sends it forward onto Connor Barron. Barron back onto Raskan, who again is sitting very deep, trying to spring the passes forward. It remains 0-0, 23 gone. Suter forward onto Hadji. Hadji just took his eye off that, and he's lost the ball. Clark came in, played it back onto Strangler. Strangler takes a touch, has to turn, plays it back onto Dre Wright, and it's not forward by Wright, but no chasers. Kimpioka, should he swap with Kirk and just have a little go?
Absolutely. And we were speaking earlier about Nicky Clark, you know, how vocal he is. You know, I think he should be getting that point across. But that's what I'm saying, players have got to think for themselves, you know. So against Suter, he's still going to beat a Suter in terms of pace, but it would be a non-event going up against Proper, because Proper's already showed signs of distress so far. So why not get yourself over?
Jeffrey plays it out wide onto Bayrami, hooks it back for Hadji, but he played it over his head. Hadji though recovers beautifully, brings the ball down, back onto Raskan. Raskan inside his opponent's half, forward onto Connor Barrett, 30 yards from goal, plays it through. Egerman with the first chance of the game, pushes the ball away. Excellent effort, good save to knock the ball away. Clearly Rangers still come again. Here comes Hadji. Hadji plays the ball out wide. Bayrami round the corner, Jeffrey in there again. Jeffrey, it gets away from Kirk, brilliantly sends it in. It's Raymond who plays it away. Here's Cherney, great touch away by Holt. Suter wanted the shot, Cherney tackled him, plays the ball back to him. Rangers still have it. St Johnstone under real pressure at the moment. Here come Rangers. Hadji knocked the ball back to Bayrami. Rangers again pushing St Johnstone, everybody back behind the ball. Cherney sends it round the corner into the box for Connor Barron, flashes it across. Here comes Hadji. Hadji plays it back in, it's touched away by the defender, Bozo Mikulic. He had to get the ball away there, thumped it from the 6-yard box, out for a throw.
That's a wonderful passage of play from Rangers. You know, all of a sudden they come to life, and Barron, you know, really prominent, you know, the first pass into Eggman, you know, and he does brilliant, touch out his feet, strike it going. Yeah, I saw that bit around that. Hadji's just went down at the moment. It's if he was holding his lower back, but and then again, sorry, Paul, then there was Barron again, you know, that wide right area in the box. I tell you what, it's a brilliant ball. It's a striker's dream, but you know, we've not got a striker along that 6-yard box. You know, Eggman should be there, you know, because it's a simple tap into the back of the net, but certainly better from Rangers.
There was a VAR check for a potential penalty. We didn't spot anything, and neither did VAR, so the check is over. 26 minutes gone, 0-0. Hadji just being stretched out at the moment. Just trying to see Roman Proper's coming across. He's having a little chat as well.
Yeah, I think that was that the one with Carey. He gets enough of the ball, just stuck his leg out. That might have been the case. But Robin Proper, you know, he was showing signs earlier, you know, a distress. It looked as if he was coming off, but you know, he seemed to have recovered. So certainly wasn't cramped, because it was only 5 minutes into the game.
Philippe Clement having a little word with him. You can see the interchange down below. He's just indicating one or two things, a little shrug of the shoulders.
It's that old one when you get done and you start, I'm a little bit sore. You kick the ball out the pitch and you're looking at the ground. I've done it plenty of times throughout my career.
All these little tricks of the trade.
Tricks of the trade, yeah.
So Rangers will have a throw, but they'll do so with 10 men. Hadji has to stay off momentarily. Jeffrey with the throw. Credit Josh Ray for the save, by the way. It was a really good one. Pushed the ball wide as he could, didn't send it right back down the middle. Here's John Suter. Suter back to Raskan. Hadji is back on the field. Back is Jack Butler, just at the edge of the D. Lays the ball on to John Suter. Suter plays it back on to Hadji. Hadji gathers, pulls the ball back once more on to Roman Proper. 16th start for Rangers, 17th appearance. Here comes Suter, taking his time, gathering. Takes a step back now, plays it on the angle. Jeffrey is all alone. Graham Carey had left him. Here's Jeffrey moving into the area, plays it across. Chance for Bayrami. Bayrami up at the edge of the D, tries to clip it out wide, looking for Tavernier. Tavernier gets the header, but he takes it outside the box. Andre Raymond is there. I thought Tavernier held him. Play on, says the referee. Raymond gathers, takes a touch, moves away, plays the ball back. Mikulic sends it wide. Rangers have gathered again. St Johnstone couldn't get it away. Ball played through onto the penalty spot by Hadji. Cherny was trying to get there, and it's knocked away by Dre Wright. Up to the halfway line. Rangers getting ready to come again. Coming down this left-hand side. Picked up by Bayrami. Bayrami plays it back onto Raskan. Little Belgian trying to weave his magic. Plays the ball back onto Proper. Proper onto Connor Barron. Nobody near him, so he turns, spins, plays it on to Cherny. Cherny back to Barron. Centre circle inside the St Johnstone half. Out wide, right-footed pass on to Tavernier on the byline. Cherny plays it back through with a 1-2. Tavernier winding up to take the ball into the box. Sends it across. Bayrami mishits it. I don't think he expected it to come to him, because Jacques Sanders didn't get the clearance that he was looking for, and he mishit the ball, and Josh Ray has it in his hands.
Now you're bang on the money, Paul. That's exactly what happened. You know, he thinks Sanders getting it, you know, and you can't think like that. You've got to think the ball's coming to me. So just that split second puts them off, doesn't get the connection on the ball. But it's certainly better from Rangers, because their movement off the ball was a lot better. Earlier on, a little passage of play, it was Bajrami, it was good play. He just takes Carey away inside, leaves Jefty with acres of space in this left hand side. So just got to look for, from a Rangers perspective, a little bit more quality with that final ball. But I think Bajrami should have done better there.
Here's the opportunity for St Johnstone to build. Right out to Carey, but back to his goalkeeper. Ray spirals it up. Kimpioka loses out. Good header from John Suter. Read it all the way onto Cherny. Cherny onto Igaman. Igaman will gather. Plays the ball back. The Moroccan onto the Brazilian. Jeffty looks up. Will play it out wide, looking for the run of his skipper. Andre Raymond chases after it as well. Tavernier gets there first. Raymond gets in ahead of him. Gets a touch. Could do with an out ball. It's now by the corner flag. Tavernier applying the pressure. The ball runs out of play, and it's a throw-in to St Johnstone. Andre Raymond winning that battle.
It's a good battle. I'm not sure who's winning it, because Tavernier's got the better of him a couple of times and just put that cross in before. But yeah, you know, that's what Tavernier gives you. He has that bit of quality in the final third, and you know, I obviously don't watch him every week, but I do find it strange that he gets such a hard time when he does have a lot of credit in the bank for what he's done for Rangers over the last 5 or 6 years. So yeah, as a opposing player, anytime Tavernier was on the ball, you always knew there was a good ball coming in. It was good deliveries. He scored plenty of goals against me, and yeah, I think he's just a really solid player who's getting a little bit of flack at this point of time, which is probably fair.
I would have been one of them, Ryan, to be honest with you, because I think he's been extremely poor this season. Yep. But yeah, he's been, in an attacking sense, he's been good this afternoon. Yeah, really positive. Some clever balls, weight of pass as well. He's doing pretty well so far this afternoon, but you know, he's missed a couple of games. Maybe that's what he's been needing. The manager's been very vocal about that, but yeah, he's playing well this afternoon.
You know, sometimes you get in your comfort zone as a player. You know that he's been there for so long, top goal scorer, you know, as a right back, captain. He might be thinking, oh, I'm just going to play every week. I don't really need to do that. And sometimes it is a little bit of a, you know, couple of weeks on the bench, or that feeling of, oh, I'm not as comfortable as I thought. And maybe it's a little bit of a masterstroke from the manager.
Ball is back with Jack Butland. Butland inside his area. Kirk tries to run to block, but Butland gets the ball away. Barron went to one knee, flicks the ball into the centre circle. Egerman takes it first time, plays it out onto Nedum Bayrami. Bayrami out wide, onto Jefty. Jefty into the middle, but knocked away by Sanders and repelled that time. Hadji chases after it, keeps the ball in, and now can drive forward, see what his options are. Cherny made a run on the inside, plays the ball onto Barron. Barron out wide onto Jeffrey, midway inside his opponent's half. Conor Barron rolls the ball from under his right boot, back to Raskin. Raskin plays it back to Maguette, onto the right boot, plays it forward by Rami, onto Hadji. Hadji plays it through, can get the right number 14. He found Dre Wright instead, and Kimpioka has to come back, and Gallows, the pass was played to him. Onto Jason Holt, wide on that left-hand side, up to the halfway line. Benji Kimpioka tried a little trick there, lost out on that occasion to John Suter, and Raskan will pick up, played out wide onto Cherny. 10-12 yards inside his opponent's half, just flicks it back to Tavernier. Tavernier across to Suter. 32 minutes gone, goalless so far. Both these sides have scored 17 goals in the Scottish Premiership. Rangers have conceded 9, St Johnstone 3 times that. That's why it's third against ninth at the moment. Third place Rangers, ninth place St Johnstone. Pushing the ball forward come Rangers. Flicked on the inside. Kulich tries to get there, but it'll come back on to Sanders. Sanders will then play it forward up looking for Mackenzie Kirk. Oh, jumped early proper, and Kirk's in behind him. Now he tries to play the ball away from Jeffy. Jeffy doing enough to push Kirk wide. Kirk now plays the ball into the middle. Crossed in, headed away by John Suter. Suter having a little word with Rascan. They're having a word with Roman Proper as well, as the ball's knocked out of play on that far side.
It's not Raskin's fault. I don't know why Suter's having a go at him, because Proper's behind him. He can see the whole picture, so he's got to communicate better with him. But then when the ball's allowed to bounce, Proper just misjudged it woefully, by the way. So Rangers get away with that. But again, just at times, Proper, he just looks unsure. And you've touched on it, Paul. Why doesn't Kimpioka, play in that area? Because it looks as if he did, he would rip him apart.
Andre Raymond from the throw, plays it back onto Dre Wright. Dre Wright looks to his right-hand side, so Graham Carey tried then to go to his left-hand side. He was lucky the ball just bounced off and onto Andre Raymond. And Rangers almost broke there. 0-0 so far. Still awaiting that opening goal. St Johnstone, mentioned, haven't scored in the last 7 against Rangers. Is today their day? Graham Carey from Clark out wide, trying to take on Bayrami. Bayrami was strong enough, and Rascan tries to let the ball go out of play, just run out of play and no more. And Graham Carey got bowled out into the technical area. The end result though is a goal kick to Rangers. 0-0, 34 minutes played. St Johnstone will be relatively happy. A win against Kilmarnock ended a run of 3 back-to-back losses. Rangers come here unbeaten 5 games since the loss at Pittodrie, winning 3, drawing 2 in all competitions. Long ball played forward onto Czerny. Czerny sends it round the corner for Igaman. Igaman gathers on that far side. Doesn't always look elegant, but he does get to the ball well. Gathered the Moroccan, plays it inside onto Czerny. Czerny left it, looking for Tavernier. Tavernier wasn't anticipating, poked it back to Rascan. Rascan sends it wide. Igaman gathers again, down by the corner flag, just thumps the ball off Raymond, and Rangers have a corner.
Have they scored from a set piece yet so far this season? Paul, I know I'm putting you under pressure there, but
get his notes out, look at him.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
Not away from home in the SPL.
There you go. So you're banging your game. You're right on the money.
Well, I try, if nothing else. Ball from the corner will come from Czerny. Czerny just yelling away. I think Kimpioka being too close. Tavernier's yelling back. I'd be surprised if this doesn't come into the middle. Well, I am surprised. Tavernier plays it back on to Czerny. Czerny now on the angle of the cross. Sanders with a head away, breaks down to Bayrami, sets himself for the shot, goalkeeper across, missed the ball behind. Plenty of power on the shot. Josh Ray saw it all the way, turned it behind for a corner.
I'm pretty surprised with the set piece, because it's only Kimpioka is out there. I thought once he took the short corner, one of the St Johnstone players would have got across there to stop the ball into the box. They don't. The ball falls to Bayrami, left hand side, just inside the box, and it's a decent shot, but I think the keeper was always going to get there.
Yeah, it's one of those ones you expect your goalkeeper.
Should catch it. Bloody goal, he's knocking it out for a corner. Honestly, so frustrating as a defender.
I'm sure they get paid more to knock the ball away than to catch it. Here comes the short corner again. 2 come out for St Johnstone. Played past Conor Barron into the middle. It's gathered and flicked back by Bayrami. Onto Jeffrey, he's got a chance to come down the middle. Let's Fly took a little deflection, but into the arms of Josh Ray. And if you're a defender at Ramagain, you're quite happy that the fullback's coming forward to take a shot through a pile of players.
And that you keep a quarter. That's a good start as well. So, you don't mind your Rangers left back, right back, well, maybe not Tavernier, but definitely the left back having a shot from 35 yards out when you were defending a corner 20 seconds ago. So, I think St Johnstone maybe lost their way the last 5-10 minutes, but I think they've still done enough in this first half to show how dangerous they are when those balls are played over the top. But they're not just knocking the ball over the top aimlessly. They're kind of sucking Rangers out, leaving that space in behind, and then flipping it at the right time, which is what the manager obviously wants.
St Johnstone trying to come forward, play the ball out onto this right-hand side. Mikulic onto Wright. Wright plays it forward. Graham Carey at his feet, caught there, but the referee quite happy for play to continue. Nikolic gathers, plays it on to Sprangler. Sprangler just a little short towards Nicky Clark, and then battling in there was Graham Carey. We won't be seeing that on Sports Scene tonight, that little passage of play. As the ball comes back onto Proper on the inside, onto John Souttar. No goals so far for Rangers here. No goals for St Johnstone. Rangers have scored in 19 straight games against St Johnstone. Ball played back by Rangers. Raskin picks up. Rain's gone off. Start to brighten once more as Raskin flicks it out wide onto Tavernier. Dante's 10 goals for Rangers against St Johnstone. Almost played in there by Cherney, but good recovery by Holt to win it. Forward onto Raymond. Raymond gets it through. Here's Nicky Clark. Clark looks up, immediately looked to his left to see where Kimpioka was. Wasn't in good position. Plays it to the right onto Carey. Carey into the middle. Souttar with a header away. Carey's going to let that almost run out of play before he gathers. He heard the shout of Dre Wright. Dre Wright gathers up ahead of Ioannis Hadjis, trying to go for the byline. Dre Wright turns, whips the ball in. Souttar with a header away right down the middle. No takers at the moment. The ball bounces. Sprangler heads it out wide to Kimpioka, who fakes the header, lets the ball come to his feet, but he's being forced back to the halfway line. Back on the inside onto Andre Raymond. Raymond couldn't get away from Cherney and overran the ball, and now Rangers have it through Raskin. Takes a touch, plays it on the inside onto Hadji. Hadji moving forward. 6.5 to half time. No side has made the breakthrough yet. Jeffney, little touch on the inside, back onto Ioannis Hadji. Hadji gathers, pushes it into corner Barron. Barron under pressure from Clark, holds him off, goes round the corner, touches it out wide onto Jeffney. Jeffney back inside, Barami is there. The Albanian wants movement. You'll find Raskin to Cherney, back again. Little exchange of passes again. St Johnstone very quick, very disciplined to get everybody back behind the ball. Rangers with Raskin plays it out once more onto Proper back onto John Souttar. Rangers trying to find a way through here. Bayrami onto Barron. Barron takes a touch. Bayrami didn't make the run he was looking for, and it's been given away onto Kimpioka. Kimpioka onto Jason Holt. Holt can't get there. Souttar won that. Tavernier then gets the ball and it's played away. Nikolic knocks it away. Resolute defending.
But everything Rangers have done well in the first half is when they've played with intensity, when they've passed it, when they've run forward, when they've moved, when they're slow and ponderous like that. Great run from Jeffrey in the left.
Bayrami plays it through onto Jeffrey. Nikolic comes across, big number 2. Big Bozo knocks the ball out of play. But exactly what you mentioned, when Rangers had a bit of pace, they were through.
Just a bit of intensity with their passing. It just needs to be a bit sharper. You know, the forward players need to move. They need to run in behind. But then they get into this. Then they have 5 minutes where they're just kind of passing it around and dictating it. And as an opposing player, you're just sitting there going, perfect. Keep passing it to Barron and out to the other side, and we'll just keep shuffling across.
Tavernier into the middle, drop down with a header onto Nicky Clark outside the box. He plays it back onto Andre Raymond. Raymond under pressure from Tavernier. Nikolic goes across to make himself available, twisting and turning. Raymond still has it, plays it round the corner to Sprangler. Sprangler onto Holt, back to Sprangler. Rangers really pressing here, making life difficult. Derek Ferguson forcing Johnstone to get out.
Yeah, and that's what they need to do, you know. But that intensity Ryan's talking about, you know, it's in fits and starts. You know, they don't do it continually, you know, all game. So I know that there's a reason why at times I get that you can't do that, you know, because you run out of steam. But they certainly need more of that in their game if they're going to cause St Johnstone problems, if they're going to get themselves in front in this game. But that's a problem, and it has been all season. You know, you'll get a good 30 minutes, you might get a good 45 minutes, then they're off it again. So it's that's why there's been questions asked of the manager. Why is that? You know, and you know, the only way to do that is to go out and control games, but they haven't done that this afternoon, and that's credit to St Johnstone, because they've been well organised. Yeah. They're playing with an intensity, with an aggression in their game, and have caused Rangers a few problems.
Yeah, 100%. You know, they've played with a little bit of intensity. They know when to play in behind. They know when to sort of rat about in the midfield, and you just want more from Rangers. You just want more intensity. It doesn't have to be running everywhere. It's just even ball speed. You know, zinging it to each other, passing it with a little bit of pace to put the St Johnstone players under a little bit of pressure, where it's just, you know, really 50%.
Graham Carey lost out in the middle of his opponent's half, but the long pass forward is way past Hamza Egeman.
Yeah, he's angry with himself, Conor Barron there, because there was acres of space to put the ball into. You know, Egeman makes a good run, and you know, he just puts a little bit too much on it. Does it as well, doesn't get the angle, but it's, you know, I've not saw many poor passes from Conor Barron. That was certainly one of them.
Long ball from the goalkeeper, defended by Rangers, picked up on the halfway line by St Johnstone. A long ball was played back, and well, it wasn't long enough. Egeman almost closed down Mikulic, and he got the ball back to the goalkeeper. Sanders then passes it on to Dre Wright. Dre Wright, lovely ball down the middle. There's Carey. Carey back onto Mackenzie Kirk. I think it's offside. He's driving in. He's away from shooter. He's driving across. He gets the shot away to Butland, and then the flag goes up. I mean, he wasn't just offside. He was offside.
Absolute mayo, and it's a pet hate of mine, because you know, you've got players running at full speed. You know, getting in goals, there's going to be contact, collisions, you know, and you know, thankfully, you know, players don't get hurt in that scenario, but it could happen. It probably will happen, but when it's as clear as that, Paul, I think the flag's got to go up.
The other thing is, it's a momentum thing.
Yeah.
You know, like the St Johnstone fans are up, they're thinking, oh, there's a little chance there. It's a bit of a momentum killer, and especially as a centre back, you just hate running back knowing that he's offside. Just want the linesman to put his flag up.
I suppose the counter argument is if it's not offside and you call it early, you can't get it to VAR. We've seen that this season. But that was obvious.
It's as clear as that.
That was
about
clear.
3-4 yards offside.
Egeman comes forward for Rangers, loses out the ball back onto Josh Ray, and now it's sent long. I mean, that's the assistant referee equivalent of missing a clear goal, isn't it? You know, if you don't get that right, you've shot wide from 6 yards. Here's the opportunity for Rangers to come forward. Spangler got caught by Barron. It's a free kick. Barron went to play the ball, but he caught the Austrian instead.
Do you know something? I think he's lucky to get away with that, because I think Conor, he is making an attempt for the ball, but he knows he's going to make contact with the player. He's got and this is me speaking as an ex-midfielder, you know, you've got a chance to kind of maybe put one on the player.
A little free hit, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, and so if that happens in the middle of the park, it's a booking. It's because the ball's running out for a by kick. So, yeah, he's got away with one there big time.
Can I give you my theory as why I think he thought he was going to get booked? Because he immediately started to pull his socks. He went down to look after his socks.
You look everywhere. You look everywhere other than the referee. You just try and ignore him. But, yeah, he's got away with one there.
0-0 so far. Sunday afternoon sports out doubleheader. What a match to come from Tynecastle. If it's anything like the match at Easter Road on Tuesday night, where Aberdeen were last in town, which ended rather mental 3 apiece. Hearts against Aberdeen coming up after this one. 45 minutes have come and gone. 2 additional minutes to be played. Our 4th official is Ian Snedden, and he lifts the board up rather dramatically. As the throw is taken, Kimball tries to get him behind proper. He's done so. He's gathered the ball outside the box on that right hand side. He's held up. He's got Carey in behind him. Carey's got a terrific cross on him. Carey plays the ball in the middle, too close to the goalkeeper on that occasion, and the man in orange, well, he wanted Egeman to move forward right through the middle. He decides to hold on to it. He's still yelling. And goalkeeper as well, they're a breed apart.
Thankfully he's caught the ball. Stop shouting at everyone, just do your job. Honestly, it's a pet hate of mine. Goalkeepers in general, don't like them.
I won't ask you to name names, but is there one that springs to mind most?
Mitov last year,
right.
he made a lot of saves because we were terrible, but he was one that was, you know, loved to. It was like he knew the camera was on him, so he had to shout at someone to make it look like he was angry. He was actually quietly delighted that he got to make the save.
Bairami plays it out onto Tavernier. Tavernier gets the shot away. It was blocked back to him, and he's then knocked away by Kirk, who won the ball. Back inside, it comes on to Nicky Clark. Here comes Ray. Ray pushes the ball out wide onto Andre Raymond. Raymond gathers it down the side, picked up by Kirk. Kirk on the inside, onto Clark on the halfway line, plays it back onto Mackenzie. Kirk got the winner last week. He's going to try and set up Kimpioka. Kimpioka, I thought, was a little slow to read the intention of Kirk. And Jeffrey has to go across and simply knock the ball out of play.
It was actually a great ball from Kirk in behind. It was just, I think Benji's looking for half time. He seems to be a little bit fatigued, but Yeah, he's come over to this right-hand side to sort of face up proper, which I was, we spoke about. Was surprised it's maybe not happened a little bit earlier, but I would be very surprised if the second half if Benji's not more on the sort of proper side and trying to get in behind on that.
Last action of the half. Dre Wright with a throw. There's a man goes down in the box, didn't leave absolutely anything in it. And to his credit, Jack Sanders didn't complain. Said Sprangler out. It's just run his way through. Rangers player, the yellow card comes out, and I think a man gets himself, gets himself back up. The free kick was taken long. It was nowhere near ready for the referee, but Sprangler was taking no prisoners there.
Absolutely not, and he just, I think there's a few players just waiting the half-time whistle going, so I think a few of them was just kind of switched off a little bit. This was playing 2.5 minutes so far into added time on, so it's been, I've quite enjoyed the game, to be honest with you, Paul. I think St Johnstone gave a real good account of themselves, and it's just a typical Rangers performance so far.
Half-time whistle goes in Perth. Rangers have dropped points against St Johnstone in 6 of the last 8 seasons. They feel they can't afford to do so today, but half-time sees it goalless. It's St Johnstone 0, Rangers 0.
St Johnstone versus Rangers in the Scottish Premiership, live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
On BBC iPlayer.
Hi, Dad.
For Richard, visiting his dad was never easy.
Hey, would you please make an appointment with Dr. Roach about your earwax?
I can hear you. It's just I can't hear what you're saying.
The last thing he expected was to stick around.
I couldn't stand the man. Then why are we here? Well, it's a social contract, Richard. You go to someone's funeral, they come to yours.
Well, not if they're dead.
Brand new comedy, Only Child. Watch all episodes now on BBC iPlayer.
You're listening to Sports Time with me, Richard Gordon. We are a quarter of the way through our live action for this afternoon, 3 o'clock in the Premiership. What a game it could be, as Paul mentioned, at Tynecastle, Heart of Midlothian against Aberdeen. Full live commentary of that to come. And that, of course, will follow the conclusion of the action that we're currently bringing you from Perth. You'll get the highlights of both these matches and the best of the action from yesterday on Sports Scene tonight. That's at 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. The Scottish Cup action from the third round concludes tomorrow night. East Kilbride against Falkirk live on the BBC Scotland channel. Thereafter, the draw for the fourth round of the competition. There is one tie this afternoon. Kicks off at 1 o'clock between Dundee North End and Airdrieonians. We might get the chance in the middle hour, if you like, between the two live commentaries to look back on some of the giant killing. There were some very notable results yesterday in the Cup competition. In the week ahead, Monday to Friday, the Scottish Football Daily podcast. You can download that wherever you pick up your podcasts. Massive night on Tuesday for the Scottish women's national team. The second leg of the Euros playoff against Finland, as the two sides battle it out for a place at Switzerland 2025. Goalless, of course, after the first leg at Easter Road. So that's at 5 o'clock on Sportsound on Tuesday. You can also watch the action live on BBC Alapa. And a busy night on Wednesday. 3 matches on Sportsound. Dundee Motherwell, Rangers Kilmarnock, and the big one at Pittodrie between Aberdeen and Celtic. And the highlights of those 3 games, Sports Scene at 10:40 on Wednesday night on BBC One Scotland. Ryan McGowan and Derek Ferguson have been alongside Paul Mitchell for commentary of the opening 45 minutes there. We heard Sima Valakari, Ryan, talk beforehand about looking to see an aggressive approach from his side. He got that pretty much from kick-off, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought St Johnstone started really well. They put Rangers under a lot of pressure. I don't think Rangers got to grips with the formation or the players that were playing in those formations. I think with the, so they've got 2 boys up front who are quick. I think it's maybe taken them a little bit by surprise. A lot of teams don't play with 2 strikers anymore, and it does sort of unsettle the back 4 because you do have 2 up front, and then with Nicky Clark in that 10 role, it's who picks him up. Does a centre back pull out and go on him, or does one of the midfielders drop in? And at the start of the game, I think one of the midfielders was dropping in, which meant that St Johnstone then had that sort of overload in the middle of the pitch, and it just took them probably 10-15 minutes to even sort of lay a glove on St Johnstone. But I thought once they did that, once they started getting a little bit touch tight, they had a little bit more intensity to their game, they started creating a little bit more chances, and you probably, it's not been a great game, but probably in the first half, Rangers have had the better opportunities. But in saying that, I think St Johnstone have looked very, very dangerous on the counter-attack.
Now, I thought, Derek, I think fair to say that most of the threat we saw from the Saints came in the opening 20 minutes or so, perhaps.
Yeah, they started extremely well. I said before the game, Richard, I've quite enjoyed watching St Johnstone play. They try to play through the lines, but when you've got the pace of Kim Pioka and the power of Kirk up top, sometimes, not all the time, every now and again, you've got to utilise that. I thought they've had a good game plan as well. I thought they started the game far better than Rangers. They were more aggressive, more intensity, more speed of play. I think Ryan's touched on that. And the speed of play is not how quick you run, it's how quick you move the ball. And I think St Johnstone did that ever so well in the first 15-20 minutes. And Rangers then started, to realise that if you're going to get a result up here at McDermott Park, sometimes you've got to roll the sleeves up, you've got to work a little bit harder, run a little bit further, and they started to do that, and they got themselves into the game. But I'm a little bit different for Ryan. I'm quite enjoying the game. The only thing for me is
it's a good game. It's a good game.
There's no goals. There's been, I think, it's been maybe the Achilles heel of Rangers. We spoke about it, the lack of firepower. There's been balls that have been fired across that 6-yard box that, if you've got a real quality striker, then more often than not they're there to take them, but it's not been the case this afternoon. And I would also say the same about St Johnstone. I think there's been 2 or 3 terrific balls played in between the sticks, and you're expecting one of the strikers, and I'm talking about Kim Pioka here, not just to kind of stay out at that kind of the far post, get yourself across there, and you'll get yourself an opportunity. But no, strangely enough, I've quite enjoyed it, Richard.
You're just a football enthusiast generally, Derek. I mean, let's be honest.
With Rangers glasses on.
So that's why I'm going to come to you, Ryan. So you've had the chance to watch Rangers for the 45 minutes there. We touched on this, the away form in the league. So it started with a goalless draw at Tynecastle. They lost 3-0 to Celtic, beat United 1-0, lost 1-0 at Rugby Park, and then 2-1 at Pittodrie. Can you see in the opening 45 minutes why it has been so disappointing from their point of view? 2 goals in 5 away league matches so far, now 5.5.
Yeah, you can definitely see. There's just even like little key points. I think at one time, probably around 30 minutes, Rangers were about to put the ball in the box, and there's only one Rangers player in the box. Now, I've played against Rangers loads of times over the years. I don't think I've ever been as a centre-back with one Rangers striker in the box. I'd be absolutely delighted, because normally there's about 7 defenders in there, and you've only got one player. Normally you've got your midfielders running in, you've got the full-back running in, you've got, normally you're looking around being like, why is there more Rangers players in our box? And there's not. And they put the balls into the box, they make you defend. Whereas I feel like they get to sort of 30, 40 yards out, and then they come back. No one wants to take that risk. No one wants to beat someone. No one wants to go and create and make something happen. And when you play for Rangers, especially away from home, you need to do that. You need to put, St Johnstone players will be thinking going into this game, it's Rangers, it's going to hope it's not 4 or 5-0, or I hope I don't get absolutely pasted, like what they do when Celtic come, or when any of the big teams come to your home ground. You want to get in at half time as 0-0. You want to sort of have the game in front of you, and Rangers don't even mix up their game. They don't. It's not as if they keep the ball outside of your box and they're playing little intricate passes and triangles, and then next thing they're flipping it over you and someone's running in behind. It's all just kind of, it gets to 30 yards out, and then it's kind of side to side. Someone maybe tries to play a ball through and it comes back out, and there's no risk taken. There's no one that takes the game by the scruff of the neck and says, listen, I'm going to control this game, I'm going to create chances, and we're going to score goals and go on to win it.
Derek, it's not just the away form, I suppose. I mean, the home form has been better, but in terms of goals scored, they're now, as it stands, and they've played fewer games than some of the teams I'm about to mention, but they're 7th in the goal scoring lists this season. Aberdeen are second bottom and have scored 1 goal more than Rangers have. St Mirren have, Dundee and Dundee United have, and of course Aberdeen and Celtic have vastly outscored them so far. It is something that Philippe Clement is going to have to try to rectify, isn't it?
Well, he sticks with the same formation, Richard, the 4-2-3-1. They must work on passages of play in training. They must go through certain scenarios. but it's clear to see at the moment, and you're giving us the evidence. It's not good enough. So something has got to change, whether that's the shape, whether that's the desire as well, you know, from players in the middle of the park to hit the box, because Ryan's just explaining, you know, just one striker, Igman, in that box when I think it was maybe Connor Barron, you know, firing it across that goal. There's got to be a little bit more desire, but again, are they restricted? Does that come from the manager? Because I'm going to talk about Suter just now, because I think Suter's a terrific football player, and I don't think he breaks into the middle of the park often enough, you know, to create that little overload, the little 3v2s, and you know, and get yourself up the park. So he looks to me that he's told, no, I don't want you there, I want you to just sit back a little bit. I don't know, is that to protect Proper a little bit more, because he's lacking in pace severely. So there's little kind of scenarios that what I have liked this afternoon. I think the partnership with Tav coming in, I think he's had a pretty good afternoon. That little relationship with Cherney down that right hand side has been good, but no, there's not enough quality, there's not enough speed of play, and there's not enough intensity. And if you've not got that in your game, you know, teams are going to enjoy playing against you.
Goalless it is at half-time between St Johnstone and Rangers. Philippe Clement about to make a switch at half-time, though, I gather. Let's go to Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, it looks like it, Richard. Yeah, Ruud van Yilmaz is going to be coming on. Now, a number of Rangers players had issues in that first half. Robin Proper, we spoke about early on in the game. Yanis Hadji also had a back problem. But it looks as if it's going to be Nedim Bayrami who's going to be replaced at the start of the second half. And I wouldn't be too surprised either if there's at least one change for St Johnstone. A couple of players have just raced up the tunnel. But certainly a change for Rangers. Bayrami is coming off, and it's going to be Ruud van Yilmaz coming on.
Okay, Derek, your thoughts on that one?
Well, my thoughts was you would move Yefty up one, but I think the other night Yilmaz come on and played further forward than Yefty. I prefer Yilmaz, you know, just to go in there at left back. Yefty with that kind of little bit of pace and a little bit of power, you know, I would prefer that, but it'll be interesting to see how the manager goes about that. But there was a few players, even Hadji seemed to have a little issue with his lower back. You know, Proper, we've spoke about him as well. You know, he looked as if he was really struggling early on in the game, but he's seemed to have recovered. So there is a few niggles. You're going to get that, but that's the problem I've got, Richard, because when you start to look at the bench, you start to look, well, who can make the difference? And there's not too many. So that's just that substitution for me, just a light for light.
We'll see how it affects the second half from St Johnstone's point of view. Overall, Ryan Simo Valakari going to be fairly happy, isn't he?
Yeah, he must be pretty happy with the performance so far. I think he'd be a little bit disappointed that they've, you know, I think Kipioka had that chance where he's kind of through one-on-one that he didn't get a shot away. You know, if you're in those areas, you need to get a shot away and test the keeper. It gets the crowd up a little bit. But I think overall, he'll probably be the happier of the two managers going in at half-time.
So the players will be back out again in just a few minutes' time. Remember, we've still got a second live commentary of the afternoon, which comes from Tynecastle Park. It is Heart of Midlothian against Aberdeen. That's live with us here on Sports Sound and BBC Radio Scotland. And then you can settle back this evening and enjoy the best of the action from both those matches. St Johnstone against Rangers, the one we're bringing you, and Heart of Midlothian against Aberdeen to come. Highlights tonight then, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. And do look out for the Scottish Cup Live. The one remaining tie is, or at least by the time it comes round, it'll be the one remaining tie. East Kilbride against Falkirk. Remember, one game this afternoon which will literally just be kicking off. Dundee North End against the Airdronians. We'll bring you any news that comes through from that one. Brian McLaughlin's been finding out some more information for us.
Yeah, it's going to be a second change for Rangers. It's going to be Robin Proper, who is going to be coming off, and not too surprisingly, it's going to be Leon Balogun coming on. Yeah, a couple of changes there, Richard. Still waiting to see if there's going to be any from St Johnstone, but certainly two changes for Rangers. It's going to be Proper and Bayrami coming off, with Yilmaz and Balogun coming on.
Yeah, Ryan, look, he settled down a wee bit, but he did have a pretty torrid first half at times, didn't he, Proper?
Yeah, he just didn't seem to be comfortable at all. You know, sometimes you go into a game carrying a little bit of a knock or a little bit of an injury, you know, which people, you know, like us up here that don't actually understand. But yeah, he just did not look comfortable from almost minute one. And yeah, I was more surprised that St Johnstone didn't sort of exploit that more a little bit as the half wore on. But you know, from another point of view, Rangers are now having to make 2 subs at half time for 2 of their, you know, sort of, one's a centre back, the other one's a sort of midfielder. It doesn't give them much opportunity to change the game come, you know, 60 minutes or 70 minutes if it's still 0-0. Who are they going to then bring on? They can't have a wholesome change of 4 or 5 attacking players and bring a real spark to it. So I'm sure Clement will be angry at that situation, having to make sort of 2 subs that for players that won't really influence if Rangers are going to go and win the game or not.
St Johnstone players just making their way back out. I mean, just briefly then, Derek, before we get up and running, there has been an issue today potentially from an injury point of view, but it's been a pretty torrid season for Robin Cropper for the most part, hasn't it?
Yeah, and he's already admitted that he's struggling with the physicality, with the aggression. Well, welcome to Scotland, you know, because that's that's a big part of our football. You know, we play with that aggression, that intensity, that desire. So you don't come here, you know, and that you can just take a ball in and pop balls left, right and centre and not be put under pressure. But it's his lack of pace is so evident. And I think it's a wise decision to take him off, because he did recover. I think he was looking for a little bit of an excuse, because I think in his thoughts were he was thinking, I'm going to get done here this afternoon, I need to get more protection around about me, but no, the manager, he stuck by him to half time. But I think it's the right decision to take him off, because I think it could cost, if he'd have stayed on, I think it could have cost Rangers a goal this afternoon.
Yeah, going to be a change, I think, for St Johnstone as well, with Aaron Essel coming on for Graham Carey. Players are back out of the action, about to get up and running. It is the second half, live with us here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland's Ryan and Derek, alongside Paul Mitchell.
Thanks, Richard. So we're halfway to a 0-0. Well, it hasn't been one of them in Perth between these two sides since 1990. So it has been a fair old while. Last 0-0 between these two sides, February 2019, and Ibrox was Fotheringham and Cammy Bell were the goalkeepers that day. Balogun introduced into the action for Rangers to slot in alongside John Souttar. Rangers will be Butland with Tavernier, Souttar, Balogun and Jeffrey Balogun. Raskan will be Ridvan Yilmaz, Haji Cherny and Igaman up front. Underway, the start of the second half. St Johnstone making that change with Aaron Essel on for Graham Carey as Andre Raymond picks up. St Johnstone, the blue jerseys, white shorts, blue socks. Rangers in the white jerseys, blue shorts and white socks. A nice colourful contrast as the ball gets played out wide. Here's the opportunity for St Johnstone. Mackenzie Kirk starts on that right hand side, gathers, it's going the wrong way, and he plays the ball back to his goalkeeper. Josh Ray has got 3 clean sheets in his 10 starts as a Saints player. He'd love to make that 4 and 11. Opportunity to get the ball forward. It's given away the one to Ridvan Yilmaz. Sanders doesn't do too much wrong. It's a poor ball. Haji back to Ridvan Yilmaz. Back on to Haji. Plenty of power, but it was rising all the way. 20-yard shot up and over the top. First chance of the second half falls the way of Rangers.
He hits ever so well. You know, he's about 25 yards out. Central position, just goes a yard over the bar, but that's something that certainly Innes Haji has got in his locker, you know, to score from that range. So just putting that yard over the bar, but positive signs for Rangers early on in this second half.
Haji scored for Rangers B this season in the League Challenge Cup against Stenhousemuir. It's his only start of the season for a Rangers team. There's the opportunity for Rangers to come forward, closing down Kirk on that far side. Ryan McGowan also alongside me, former St Johnstone player, Australian international. What are you looking for in the next 10-12 minutes from St Johnstone?
just a little bit more of the same as the first 15 minutes of the game. I think with Carey going off, they lose that little bit of creativity from the middle of the pitch, but they also get an extra sort of body in there to rat around. So, I think they just need to be a little bit better on the ball and make some better decisions moving forward.
Turn forward onto Tavernier. Tavernier inside. Egeman chips the ball up and lofts it wide. Tavernier went down at the edge of the area. But Egeman, that was a strange finish.
Yeah, first of all, it was brilliant from Tavernier. We've already spoke about him. I think he's having a
can't believe you were slaughtering him at the start of the game.
I'm talking about overall this season, right? But listen, you call it as it is. He's played well this afternoon, and it was a real powerful run there. And he was clever enough to just lead inside to Egeman. I just think he's trying to find that far right-hand corner, but he gets it all wrong. But there is signs that Rangers have... Now, we spoke about it early in the first half, the lack of aggression in their play, so they've started certainly more aggressively in this second half.
Got more intensity.
Yeah, that's clear to see.
It's John Suter, plays the ball from the edge of his area, onto Tavernier. Tavernier around the corner, onto Conor Barron, over the halfway line to Cherney, stumbled as he got the ball away. Tavernier will play the ball back onto Jack Butland. Rangers have lost just one of the last 23 all competitions against St Johnstone. They've won 17. All of those, they last lost in Perth back in November of 2022. Brown and Clark, the goal scorers that day. There's a free kick against Arnessel on that far side. And Rangers will have it. It's getting a little bit dull and overcast once more here in Perth. As Rangers look to try and find a way to add just their 2 away goals this season in the Scottish Premiership. Launched long, Egeman gets it better as Sanders, but Trey Wright has it, hooks the ball back onto Josh Ray. Ray gathers, sends the ball wide, there's nobody there. The goalkeeper was expecting Jason Holt, I think, to be up there, but there was nobody. And Rangers have a throw, which they've taken quickly into Tavernier. Tavernier faced up by Holt, moves away from him, inside onto Raskat, quickly gets the ball onto Barron. Ryan McGowan was talking about the quickness of Rangers passes and how they look better when they move the ball quickly. Well, there's certainly a spring in their step at the moment. It's Tavernier, plays it forward, Egeman brings it under control, right foot, plays the ball left footed out onto Jeffrey, knocks it forward, Ridvan Yilmaz. Yilmaz now low into the box, taken on by Egeman. Egeman gets the turn, shot away, goalkeeper goes down, it bounced just in front of him, but he gathers it.
It's just so much better from Rangers. They're just passing it, they're moving, tempo, as they say, but they just seem to be so much better when they do pass it quickly, when they have a little bit of purpose of their play. And you get to see St Johnstone players slowly moving back. It's human nature when you start to get popped a little bit, or you feel like you're under pressure, you just start dropping 15-20 yards, and just like that, they're trying to play a ball over the top, but it's too far. It's a 90-meter ball, whereas in the first half they were being able to sort of get out a little bit further away from their goals and be able to play it over the top for the boys to run onto over the top.
Paul, that's the story of the season for Rangers. At times you just don't know quite what you're going to get. It was pretty passive the first 15-20 minutes. Yeah, we got into the second half. The managers obviously get into them a little bit, and they start with that aggression. That's got to be, you're looking for a 90-minute performance. Again, we're not going to get it this afternoon. Yeah, Rangers can still go on and win this game in the second half if they keep that intensity and the aggression up. But yeah, that's been the story so far. And then the question that Richard asked me, with Yefty or Yilmaz playing that left back area, Yefty's going to still, he's just going to sit in there. Yilmaz playing further forward on that left-hand side. I would go the other way. I'd prefer Yefty, a little bit further up the park, but there again, what do I know?
Well, you did play for a little while. I think we can accept that. Here comes Cherney. Cherney gathers on the left-hand side, driving at Sprangler, but he gives the ball away. Sprangler gets it, and it's flicked up onto Nicky Clark. Clark's going to release Mackenzie. Kirk's trying to fly down the side. Jeffty in there as well. Jeffty plays the man, but he played him with his shoulder, according to the referee and the assistant, but he still popped him into the hoardings.
I think that's good. But again, we come back to it. Ryan will enjoy that. Yeah. It's a contact sport. That was a real
marker down.
It was a good challenge, wasn't it? A real physicality, and Jeffty showed his strength there. And he's took probably a sore one into the boards, but sometimes people will enjoy that as part of your game.
Jeffty moves forward. There were certainly no great complaints from Mackenzie Kirk. He realised he hadn't been out-muscled. It's 0-0 so far. Rangers in Perth up against St Johnstone, the home side. Just one win in the last 19 against Rangers on this ground. Can they change that today? Sent round the corner by Hadji. Hadji looking for Tavernier. Tavernier kept it in, but he fired the ball across, and the goalkeeper came out and gathered. And the floodlights starting to come on here in Perth because it is a little bit dull.
It is, but I think, touching on that sort of just the moment almost off the ball, it gets the fans up as well. You want to see your players working for your club. You want to see them like they care, and little things like that can just get everybody going. And it also sends a message to Mackenzie Kirk next time he's running down the channel might not have that spring in his step, knowing that he could get knocked into the stands.
Ryan, see that ball, Hadji? I thought he just overcooked it a little bit. The one he plays down this right-hand side, Paul, and it was Tavernier. I've seen in the past Tav give that ball up, but he never, he kept going, and he dug out it was a decent enough cross, but the fans, just what Ryan's touching on, the fans recognise that. They're giving everything that they've got, and that's all you can ask. Yeah, you can point the finger sometimes at the quality on show, but as long as the players are giving it the full effort, fans will forgive that. They'll put up with that.
Here's Hadji in the midfield for Rangers. Out wide, comes on to Tavernier. Both Rangers have got a cup final this month, so their place is up for grabs. And as the ball gets played on the inside, Czerny tries to gather again. Andre Raymond just battered Essel to the ground because he wanted the ball. And Jason Holt should be booked for that. He pulled back Ridvan Yilmaz, who was coming through up to the edge of the area. There was a potential shooting opportunity. Now, I'm not here to get players booked, but I'm slightly surprised Steve McLean hasn't gone for a card.
Well, he didn't give Barron one in the first half, so I think that's him just evening it up a little bit. But night and day. We're 8 minutes into the second half, and what a difference it's been from almost the complete first half. Just the intensity that they're playing. They've even won maybe 3 or 4 balls up from when St Johnstone are trying to play it out from the back, but just from being a little bit closer to the St Johnstone players, having that little bit of intensity, getting touch tight, and in the first half they were just 2 or 3 yards off it.
Ryan, I've never saw so many players want to take a free kick. There's about 5 of them round that ball, but I think there's only going to be one winner, to be honest with you. I think the captain is pulling rank. No, it's a fair way out. So, what would you say, 25, 26 yards out? But he's capable. He's done it many a time before. As I say, he has struggled this season. We all know in the past that he has struggled defensively, Tavernier, but what he gives you special moments in games normally it's been in tight games, so it's right down his street, so we'll see if he can produce another magical moment.
Rangers top goal scorer last season, 24 goals. His best ever return as a Rangers player, scored just once this season, and that came in the League Cup against Dundee. Tavernier picks up, goes for the free kick, diving Superman save from Josh Ray. Both fists out and fisted it out wide for a throw.
Again, catch it. Should be catching it.
Yep. Just wanted to make sure there was no mistake, so he went there. Used to see all these great photos of goalies in the 70s and 80s. Derek catching the ball as it was going in the top corner.
Without gloves on.
Yep. And the ball was hard. We could go down
6 kilos, wasn't it?
Oh, how times have changed.
0-0 here. Raskin hooks the ball out on that far side. Opportunity for Jeffney to try and take on Essel. Essel gets in, round, wraps him round, knocks the ball out of play, knocks him to the ground, and then helps him back up rather sportingly. 55 minutes gone, 0-0. Here's Rangers back to the halfway line, chasing back. There's Balogun all the way back. It goes to his goalkeeper. On to Tavernier. Tavernier opens up. That was a dangerous one from Butland. Almost played it to Kimbeoka. Tavernier was on his mettle though. Realised the problem. Played it wide. Now Raskin. On to the aforementioned Tavernier. Tavernier gathers. Plays it inside. He's yelling for Ridvan Yilmaz to make the run on that far side, trying to get away from Dre Wright. He's won the ball inside the area, but Dre Wright got in front of him and played the ball back. Now it's launched long up towards the halfway line. Kimbeoka tried to push Tavernier out the way. Philippe Clement up to the edge of his technical area. We'll get down to Brian in a moment, and Rangers are contemplating yet another change. Here's Connor Barron. Barron takes the touch, plays the ball on the inside. And here's Leon Balogun, former Nigerian international player. Second spell at Ibrox. He'll be hoping that he gets over 100 games. He's currently on 95. Here's the gathering of John Suter. Suter plays it on the angle. Out wide is Jeffrey. Again, nobody out with him. That allows Rangers a chance to play it forward onto Hadji, although Hadji's played it behind him. Let's go pitch side. Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple of changes made. One for St Johnstone, one for Rangers. For St Johnstone, Nicky Clark is going to be coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Lewis Nielsen, so that I would assume that maybe will be a switch of system. And for Rangers, Danilo is going to be coming on for number 29, Hamza Igman.
Well, the board goes up, Nicky Clark comes off, and it's interesting, Kim Payoka's having a look just to make sure his number wasn't being called off. Jason Hope will get the captain's armband. Ryan, Nicky Clark was really influential in the first half, less so in the opening 12 minutes of the second, but where do you see the change coming here?
Yeah, I'm just trying to work it out a little bit. There's a lot of finger pointing and arm waving from the side. It looks like I'm still trying to work it out.
I mean, Lewis Nielsen is capable of playing.
Yeah, he has played us. It almost looks like it's. Well, now he's gone over to take the throw in, so I have no idea what's going on.
I think you'd need a little minute or two once we get back into general play, then you'll get a kind of more of an idea. From a Rangers point of view, just light for light, obviously. Danilo coming on for Igman.
I wonder if Trey Wright's going to push forward and Essel's coming in, so Nielsen's coming out at right fullback. As the ball gets flicked forward, well, he's watching as the long ball gets played through there. Oh, that came up off his hand. I think he might have played it onto himself. Referee was very close. Rangers try and get the ball into the middle. Not an ideal introduction for Lewis Nielsen. On his heels immediately. Essel gets the ball forward, gets it onto Kim Payoka. Kim Payoka stops, turns, touches, tries to go down, but Tavernier is there. And Mikulic then launches it long, looking for Mackenzie Kirk. Mackenzie Kirk ahead of Balogun, outside the box on the right-hand side. Balogun does well, wins the tackle, gets away from his man, beats the second as well, and sends it out wide. There's Ridvan Yilmaz now driving up and over the halfway line. Trey Wright tried to nudge him away. Ridvan Yilmaz did eventually go over, but the ball had been won by that point. And now it comes forward onto Kirk. Kirk plays it back onto Trey Wright. Trey Wright takes a touch, back out to that far side. Midway inside the Rangers half comes St Johnstone, but the ball knocked away. Nielsen gets the head flick away, back over the halfway line, nowhere for Kirk to go, and he'll play it back to Mikulic. Goes to Mikulic all the way back to his goalkeeper.
I tell you what, Paul, what a difference when you've got a defender. You know, it's got that pace, the power, and the calmness, you know, when he gets possession of the ball, where I think that's what Balogun, at the ripe old age of, what is he, 36, 37 now?
He's 36,
you know, he's still young.
But and that sometimes, I think that gives confidence to the players in front of him, and you could probably see that the way Rangers have started the game, started it a little bit more confidently as well. But when you know you've got players, you know, that are pretty commanding, that are in control of the situation, it gives you confidence, and that's what Balogun's done early on in the second half.
It also puts doubt in the St Johnstone players' minds, because in the first half they were playing those balls down the channel and they were maybe winning a throw in, or they were getting the ball up in possession, whereas that's maybe 3 times now that they've played it in, and Balogun's just shuffled them across and been able to deal with it. So you then start having that little bit of doubt of playing that ball in the channel, because you're not really getting any success from it.
So just confirmation, Nielsen has gone to right full-back. Trey Wright's pushed up, Alan Essel's come in to play at the tip of the diamond. The ball is out of play, you're saying none of the action. Indeed, an extra was on the field of play. Raymond plays around to Sprangler. Sprangler around to Kim Payoka. He's not really done too much in the last 10-15 minutes of this half, but he's trying to work on and hold on to the ball. Great little drag backs, works the 1-2 with Holt, drags in there to try and win it back ahead of Raskin, got it in onto Kirk, and then Yilmaz goes down.
That's brilliant play from Kim Payoka.
It's 5-a-side stuff, wasn't it? Drag back.
It's like somebody, getting back to the old, like somebody playing in the streets, you know, just little drag backs, flick back. He's got 3 or 4 Rangers players round about him, but he still comes out with possession of the ball, and it's in a tight area. It's about about 6v6 yards. It's like in a box, and they just couldn't get the ball off him.
Rangers trying to come forward. Here's Andre Raymond. Raymond now moving forward. Low ball into the box. Could be a chance at the back post. Goalkeeper's pushed it away. Didn't gather it. Trey Wright goes back to try and gather. Sent out wide. Here comes Lewis Nielsen. Nielsen's shot was blocked. Danilo will gather. And Danilo brings the ball away. Igaman did not go off. Rangers got the wrong number up on the board. We'll come to that in a moment as the ball's played through to Vaclav Černý. Černý with a chance, but he's pushed it wide by Raymond. Raymond will gather, play the ball back on the inside, out wide. Hadji is there. Rangers trying to find a way through. Hadji with a shot, good block by Jack Sanders. The ball goes out of play on that far side. Well, we're getting a game now.
Yeah, it's definitely open, isn't it? Last 10-15 minutes.
Ball into the middle. Connor Barron tried to find the head flick, couldn't get there. And it comes out onto this far side. Here's Černý. Černý plays it in. Igaman there. Was it a high boot? No, said the referee. Raymond was in the way. Ball goes to the edge of the area, headed away by Issel, and it comes across the Rangers again through Tavernier. Igaman was just waiting for the ball to come down and refused to do so. And here's Raskin. So Rangers, it was Jeffrey they've taken off, so it's now Ridvan Yilmaz and Anas Hadji on that side. Opportunity for Rangers. They're pushing forward, looking for the opening goal. Černý on the inside. Connor Barons to the back post. Sanders with a header away. Back across by Hadji. Chance! The ball's ended up in the back of the net. It might be an own goal. Tavernier wanders across to try and claim it, but the ball's in the back of the net. I think it might have come off Jason Holt last. Rangers are ahead. They've made the breakthrough. 63 minutes gone. St Johnstone 0, Rangers 1.
Yeah, and they've deserved it in the second half. We've spoken about the intensity, the aggression, and they've kept the ball alive there, you know, and it's helped, you know, just back across goal. But there's the desire, you know, from Tavernier, who's had a great afternoon so far, and he's capped off, because if he doesn't get himself in there, you know, that ball gets cleared, but he gets in there and the ball ends up in the back of the net, and it's just rewards for Rangers how good they've been in this second half.
Well, St Johnstone, Ryan, are hoping for a VAR check. I thought Jason Holt got the final touch on the ball. The referee said to the goalkeeper, get things moving. Brian McLaughlin, pitch side, I think it was Holt.
Yeah, definitely Jason Holt got the final touch. Tavernier was just behind him, but Holt tried to clear it. The ball came off his shin and into the roof of the net.
Well, some days it doesn't quite go for you, but it was a really awkward position for Jason Holt, and Tavernier would have scored otherwise. And St Johnstone, Ryan McGowan, find themselves one down.
Yeah, and I think that's just been down to the way that Rangers have started this second half. You know, I don't think they've done that much wrong in terms of defending, but even when that cross comes in, I think there's 4 Rangers players in the box, and we touched on it in the first half. It just makes it so much harder to defend because you're trying to pick people up. Jason Holt has to do something, because the ball looks like it's possibly going in. If it doesn't, then he's got Tavernier right behind him, but it's just that constant putting the ball in the box, getting players in there, making St Johnstone defend, and that's what they should have been doing the whole game, whereas they've only done it for sort of 15-20 minutes the second half.
Long ball played by Hadji, trying to find Tavernier, couldn't do so. Rangers last benefited from own goal back in April against St Mirren. Jason Holt putting through his own net there. And St Johnstone now, well, no Nicky Clark. I think that's an issue for them. Derek Ferguson, they had to take him off. And Aaron Issel is being asked to sort of play in that role at the moment.
Yeah, I think Nicky Clark's a massive player, obviously for St Johnstone. You know, just not in terms of his general play, but it's that influence that he has on the side. I mean, you take him off, you know, you can see St Johnstone just lacking a little bit.
Rangers pick up. Černý plays the ball in the middle. Chance for Danilo. Edge of the 6-yard box. He got the shot away. Goalkeeper managed to get across to make the save. Josh Ray keeps St Johnstone in it as Rangers were going in for the kill.
Yeah, they certainly were, you know, and they've upped it big time. And if St Johnstone concede a second, you know, the game's going to be done and dusted. So they've got to, you know, they've got to settle down. They've got to defend first and foremost this corner kick that's coming in. But Rangers flying at the moment, looking to get that second goal to kill off the game.
Rangers' best spell of the game so far. Vaclav Černý getting ready to take the corner. Tavernier runs away. Černý plays it into the middle. Good header away. Goes up. Filic, 6'4", the man from Croatia. His third appearance for St Johnstone, heads it away on that far side. And Rangers look to gather. There's going to be a change coming. Brian McLaughlin.
Yes, Sven Sprangler's game is over with 66 minutes on the clock. Adama Sidibe, who think St Johnstone were considering bringing him on at half-time, and he's going to have 25 minutes or so to make his point in the game.
So Sidibe comes on. He's a decent goal scorer, right?
Yeah, he's very raw, but he has a lot of good attributes. You know, he's strong as an ox, can run the channels, he's powerful. You know, I think Craig Levine brought him in last January from the lower leagues in England, but he's got all of the attributes to be a real success. But I'm more interested in St Johnstone. I feel like at this point of the game, they're more defensive than they started the game. You know, they're taking Carey off, they're taking Nicky Clark off, and they now don't have that sort of out ball. They don't seem to have as much control. And yes, Rangers are playing better, but yeah, I'm sort of puzzled a little bit by the substitutions at the second half.
Here's Raymond for St Johnstone outside his own box, left-hand side, clips the ball to Kimpioka. Kimpioka gets the ball away from Cherney, back on to Jason Holt, now with the captain's armband, plays the ball across the penalty area. Josh Ray has to chase to the edge of the 6-yard box and play it forward onto Jack Sanders, the man from Bolt, former Killyman, will lift the ball forward, looking for the run off Kirk Balogun, wins the header. Will fall though for Dre Wright, and St Johnstone a rare chance to come forward in the last 10-12 minutes, 2/3 of the game. Long gone, and can they find a way through? They can't to get the crossover, but they have managed to win themselves a corner, their first of the second half, and let's see what St Johnstone can do from the set play.
Yeah, they need this as well. You know, they've been under severe pressure as Rangers going in search of that second goal, so they'll give them a little bit of a breather. Chance to get a ball into the box, see if they can create.
Kimpioka is the danger man. 10 of St Johnstone's 28 goals in all competitions this season. Ball launched into the middle, good header away, Balogun, and Egerman just thumps the ball over his shoulder. That'll take a bounce and go out. Jason Holt gets out the way and gets ready to take the throw, although Lewis Nielsen might do that for him. He'll just leave it for the Hearts player on loan here. He looks ahead to see what his options are. Sidibé trying to come and gather, but it's sent down wide on the channels. Here's the opportunity for Dre Wright. Dre Wright though loses it out onto Van Yilmaz, now onto Danilo. Danilo off the bench for the 5th time this season for Rangers, plays it towards Cherney. An easy one for Sanders to pick up, and he'll play it back out wide. Here's Nielsen. Nielsen coming forward, rumbling his way into the middle, plays it through, looking for Mackenzie Kirk. It's John Suter who got across that time and played it away, but St Johnstone now a little bit short at the back as Egerman gathers. He's up against Sanders, who'll go lift it out wide onto Cherney. 2 goals in the first league meeting of the season. On to Hadji. Hadji with a shot, the goalkeeper couldn't hold on to it, rather bounced up in front of him, and all he could do was shepherd it behind for a Rangers corner.
Yeah, good counter-attack from Rangers, you know, breaking forward, and players, you know, hitting the box, and clever play with Cherney. Sees that run from Hadji going beyond, and you know, it's a good strike as well. Just stop for a moment, the keeper was going to let it go through his legs there. You know, it's one of them, but it does enough just to shuffle the ball around the post to concede a corner kick. But it's better play from Rangers. We've talked about that aggression. Come out and plenty of players forward as well, Ryan.
Yeah, you can understand why Rangers fans have been so frustrated, because if they played like this in the first half, they would have probably been 2 or 3 up and made it a lot more comfortable for them, I guess. But yeah, they just seem to be struggling.
Tavernier with the corner, but it's St Johnstone who clear, and now Gather Kimpioka is away from Tavernier. He's away from Cherney. He's still running across. He's about 25 yards from goal. Drops it on to Aaron Essel. Essel looks up, plays it on to Nielsen. Nielsen sends it out wide onto Dre Wright. Dre Wright on the inside onto Holt. Holt plays it back to him. St Johnstone, this little triangle of passing, but they're not making any ground on that far side. Indeed, the ball goes out of play. Rangers touch it out. St Johnstone have the throw.
Yeah, I think Valakari spoke about moments in the game. I think when you're hitting Rangers in the break there, I think Kimpioka, he's got to take the chance. He's got to try and play the ball. Yeah. Sidibe, you know, is away over on that far right-hand side. I know it's a difficult pass, but sometimes you've got to take those chances. I just think it allowed Rangers to get back in there, get back into their defensive shape, and the chance is gone.
Holt to right, Kimpioka took his eye off that completely, and Tavernier comes in, lifts it. Egerman won't get there, though. The ball was too long on that occasion. It's going to be a throw-in, and the ball is thrown in all the way on to Josh Ray. Oh, can St Johnstone find a way back, or Rangers, who've scored first in the previous 7 meetings and won them all, either extend the lead or hold on to what they have to deliver 3 points, which would cut the gap to Aberdeen to 5 points. Well, Aberdeen face Hearts later on this afternoon. Bottom of the table, Hearts. Hibs winning yesterday, just putting a little bit more pressure on the Tynecastle side. We were in Belgium during a week in European action. Holt Tucks the ball in behind, on to right. Here's Essel. St Johnstone, Ryan, I don't think look as confident as they did in the first half.
No, they don't have the players in the midfield that are more comfortable on the ball. You had Carey and Nicky Clark, who are more than comfortable in receiving the ball with their back to play and playing those passes, whereas now they kind of have Essel in there and Dre Wright as a sort of gone from right back to right wing. So Dre's strength is running in behind and getting crosses in. He's not really that comfortable coming in with the ball at his feet. So, yeah, I think just the way that the game's gone, it seems to be running away a little bit from St Johnstone, but they still have that threat of the pace up front.
So Johnstone gather. Can they find a way to find Kimpioka? Back. Here's Raymond. Raymond, 30 yards from goal, tries to step on the inside. Conor Barron read it, played away first time, and Sanders will have to get the better of Egaman. He's done so. Laces up to the edge of his own area, takes a touch and a turn, and plays it short. Back on the inside, on to Sanders. Sanders away, back to his goalkeeper once more. Ray slips as he sends that one forward. Ridvan Yilmaz gathers, plays it forward. Hadji gets the touch, but it goes past Egaman. Allows Sanders to get it back to his goalkeeper. Push forward again. Dre Wright tried to come forward, tried to flick it onto Mackenzie Kirk. Mackenzie Kirk taken down by Balogun that time. Free kick just inside the Rangers half on that far side. And here are the thoughts of Derek Ferguson.
Yeah, it's been an enjoyable game in the second half, in the sense that, you know, from my perspective with the Rangers, you know, they've got that intensity into their game, which they really lacked in the first half of the first half, should I say. But don't discount this St Johnstone side, because they've got guys that are on the ball at the moment, like Kimpioka, Sabidi up top as well. Still, Kirk is in there as well. So, well, it's only, you know, Rangers one goal up at the moment. You know, they'll always carry that threat, St Johnstone. Yeah. And you just wonder how Rangers will react if it is the case getting into the last 5, 6, 7 minutes of this game. Will they start to feel the nerves start to jangle a little bit? And at the moment we've got a corner kick, so they're putting Rangers, starting to get themselves a foothold back in the game and putting Rangers under a little bit of pressure.
Jason Holt to take the corner. Butland comes searching for it, takes it easily. Defence party like the Red Sea there, or the Blue Sea in St Johnstone's case, as the ball gets sent long on to Egaman. Egaman tries to get away from Raymond. Raymond gets himself back up. Egaman is strong, they're battling for it. He's holding the ball in. Did he take it out of play? He's done so. It is going to be corner. They had to be careful there, Andre Raymond. He has been booked, and it was very difficult. It's now Simo Valakari's yelling at the fourth official. Another change coming. Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, there's going to be another change. It looks like Mohamed Diamande is getting ready to come on. I do think this time it will be Hamza Eghmani. His problems with the board last time out, they definitely had the wrong number up at one point, but yeah, I think this time Eghmani will be coming off and Diamande coming on.
Corner kick to come in from Cherny.
Raymond just needs to be he needs to just watch what he's doing. Yeah. He's already had one. He'd won just about 2 or 3 minutes ago. He was stretching for it, you know, and he was lucky not to connect with the players, so he's got away with 1 or 2.
Cherny swings the ball in, Danilo with a header. It's up and over the top. He was moving slightly away from goal, had to try and turn and nod it there, couldn't do so. Here comes the change. Raimondi getting ready to come on, and it is Hamza Eghman who is going to be taken off. Gets a handshake from Danilo. And Rangers, well, they're not settling for 1-0, Ryan, but I think Eghman, when you've not played a great deal of football, it's hard to constantly go the 90 minutes. And
I think Raymond should be running over, congratulating him, because I think if he went down in that corner, it would have given the referee a decision to make, because from where we're sitting, it did look like a foul, and he was in on a goal, so it possibly could have been another yellow. But yeah, I feel like he's definitely got something. He does look a little bit raw, but his performance during the week away in France was really impressive. So I think it's a really good sign for him, and I think he's done well today for Rangers.
Do you know, it's a great point, because he's young, he is inexperienced. If I'd probably been an experienced player, he makes a little bit more of it, makes a meal of it, and then the referee has been asked the question, and probably, from my point of view, it looked a booking, so yeah, you're absolutely banging the money. He's got away with one there, so that's down to Eghman.
Danilo onto Diamondi. Diamondi's first touch is to overplay it back to Danilo. And the ball runs away. Danilo, Sao Paulo born. Just one goal this term. Against Ross County in August. But it's Rangers who lead here by 1-0. St Johnstone have won 2 of the last 3 at home. They've won previously 2 of the previous 15, so the home form has improved as Kapilka pushes away Bannon, but Rangers have it through Tavernier. Tavernier flicks it out wide onto Czerny. Czerny up at the edge of the box is Diamondi. Diamondi trying to play it back through to Tavernier. Tavernier tried the little back heel that bounced off the central defender. And now Dre Wright puts himself in trouble, trying to be too clever at the edge of the area. Hadji tickled away by Nielsen, who had a couple of goes at him. Hadji, though, keeps his balance and keeps the ball, plays it infield. Just past the centre circle for Raskin. Raskin to Bannon. Bannon plays it out wide onto Czerny. Czerny takes a touch round the corner. And Sanders comes across, gathers, has a look. That was good play. Other defenders might have just hoiked that forward. There was nobody there. He did at least try to pick out Sidibek. It wasn't to be, and Rangers come again. Certainly the balance of play tilting heavily in favour of the Ibrox men so far. Just one away win in the Scottish Premiership this season. It was 1-0 against Dundee United as Kimpioke is down and the referee's just checking that he's okay. And in fact, he will bring on the St Johnstone videos. Time ticking away. Just over 12 minutes to play.
You're getting a little kind of confrontation with Barron there, so I don't know if it looks as if he's got cramp. I thought he took a little knock there, but he's went down a little bit theatrical, but he's getting his treatment. I tell you what, he's worked his socks off. The amount of sprints that he's put in this afternoon, so I'm not surprised that he's starting to tire a little bit, but I did think it was a knock that he'd got there.
I think St Johnstone are actually lucky that the ref stopped the game. He's basically stopped the game for cramp, and football's just gone so soft, hasn't it? Imagine in your day if the referee stopped for cramp. It used to be embarrassing. I remember as a young player, if I used to get cramp, you used to not want to tell anyone because you're embarrassed that you got cramp. Whereas now it's almost like a sign of, oh, look at me, I worked hard, I'm now cramping. Players these days, huh?
St Johnstone are going to make a double change. I wonder if the man with the cramp is going to be taken off. Brian McLaughlin.
I'm not quite sure about that yet, but certainly, yeah, he is. He's coming off. Ben Kimpioka is coming off. The former Rangers youngster Josh McPake is going to be coming on. Also, Max Kucherevi is going to be coming on. He's going to be replacing number 7, Jason Holt, the goal scorer today.
Yeah, sadly for Jason Holt at the wrong end. It's his own goal that separates these sides with 11 minutes to play. Balogun for Rangers, on to Raskat. Raskat sends it out wide. Well, the change, it's not been made, actually.
No, I know, I was looking at, so Kimpioke, he shouldn't have come off the park. He should have stayed on until the substitution was ready to come on. He's just wandered off, and they've not made this. So, at the moment, St Johnstone down to 10 men. Little things like this, little moments, it could cost you. It's a silly mistake.
Yes. He's gone from sitting on the bench to coming back to standing next to the fourth official.
Just go back, lie down.
Yeah. Here's the opportunity for Kirk to almost come through on Balogun. Balogun was strong. He wins the ball. So he tries to gather. He blocks it. Out of play it goes. Right, the change is going to be made, and he can go back to his seat now. Benjamin Kimpioka. He comes across. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Bizarre. I think he was expecting the substitute just to go on, but then he shouldn't have wandered off in the first place. Just a little bit of lack of communication, it must be, down there.
So change is made. Kucherevi is on.
Another captain swap.
Yeah, I don't see that too often. Who's got it now?
I think Dre Wright's got it now.
Yeah, Dre Wright's got the armband. So Jason Holt leaves the field of play, giving his all as he always does, but wow, so unlucky with the own goal. And he applauds the St Johnstone fans. And he is withdrawn. Kucherevi, 3 goals in his time as a St Johnstone player. 43 appearances, just 22 years old, the Ukrainian. And now the opportunity for Rangers to try and throw this in. Well, Rangers are on their best run against St Johnstone since season 92-93 when they rounded off by winning 10 straight. That ended with a 1-each draw in Perth back in March 1993. The Rangers will be going 8 straight as the ball drops down onto the substitute, but well, he lost out there. McPate, ball on the inside. Rangers will gather. Diamondi trying to get away from Essel. Essel can't get there, so Rangers play it out wide. Ridvan Yilmaz steps inside, plays a little ball onto Danilo. The ball runs through and the goalkeeper races off his line to gather. 8.5 minutes still to play. That's St Johnstone haven't tested Jack Butland in the second half, realistically.
Yeah, and I think, Paul, it's because Rangers have controlled the game, you know, for most part. Got their goal, and then once you get kind of, you know, a lot of substitutions, the game's been kind of disrupted a little bit, so we're going into a critical period, certainly for both sides. You know, it's important that Rangers can they go and see this game out, but for St Johnstone, they've made the changes. I'm a little bit surprised Valakari hasn't took Raymond off, because I think he's a lucky chap still to be on the park, to be honest with you, but you know, it looks as if he's going to see this game out, but you just wonder how much St Johnstone have got left in the tank to try and put a little bit of pressure on, try and create a chance, because so far they've created absolutely nothing in the second half.
4 total shots, just 1 on target in the match. Rangers 15 shots, 8 on target, and they have 1 goal. It's an own goal from Jason Holt. That's the difference between these two sides. Here comes Connor Barron driving forward. St Johnstone 0, Rangers 1. Part of a double header here on BBC Radio Scotland as Chiravi almost fouled Diamondi. Diamondi was allowed to continue, and he got up, won the ball, played it back onto Raskin. Raskin onto Czerny. Czerny midway inside his opponent's half, played back inside onto Tavernier. Tavernier around the corner to Danilo. Danilo out wide onto Czerny. Rangers trying to wear St Johnstone down here. Czerny gets away from Raymond, who went to ground again. Just got enough of the ball as Czerny moved away. He recovered the ball, and Rangers played out wide to the left-hand side. Back inside it comes onto Czerny. Connor Barron calling for it. 21st start for Rangers today. Here's Czerny. Little touch round the corner, lays it back onto Raskin. Czerny went to ground from Sidibe, but Rangers have continued to play the ball out wide. Ridvan Yilmaz out wide on that far side. The cross comes in. Tavernier goes into reverse as the ball bounces and comes outside the box. It's going to be picked up by McPate. McPate lays it back onto Andre Raymond. There's no great out ball at the moment. Tavernier closing things down, and Rangers win the ball back, although it's given away again immediately. Essel sends it across, tries to find Trey Wright, who's coming into the middle of the park. The ball has just been given away one to the other, and Danilo goes in, tries the shot, 22 yards. Goalkeeper makes the save, pushes the ball wide and gathers again and bowls the ball out onto Jack Sanders. Danilo's looked lively.
Yeah, he certainly has, and he's playing that centre forward role, initially just coming on and playing in that number 10 role, just sitting behind Igman. But Rangers have upped their game, you know, they've got that intensity we've spoke about, and St Johnstone really sloppy at times with the ball. Their passing, which was fairly good in the first half, but it seemed to just deserted them at the moment. I don't know if that's the pressure that Rangers are exerting on them, but
it definitely is. It's the pressure. You know, anyone can play out from the back or play possession when you've got nobody touched tight to them. But this second half, every time a St Johnstone player's got the ball, they've got someone up the back, they've got someone trying to nibble in on them. It's just been absolute night and day from the first half. And also St Johnstone have now taken off their players that were comfortable with the ball, and this is it's actually a really defensive lineup, really. There's only sort of the front three, and everybody else is more a defensive style, so it's a different sort of St Johnstone team from the one that started the game.
St Johnstone won a free kick as Sanders was upended by Raskin. He got yellow carded for his troubles in the centre circle. Free kick taken, repelled by Rangers. St Johnstone get the second ball, played out wide, looking for McPate, but he can't get there. Ball runs out of play, and that's the cue for 1 or 2 in the stand down left-hand side to get up, head towards the exits. Under 5 minutes to play, still a 1-goal game. St Johnstone 0, Rangers 1. Jason Holt with the own goal. That's the difference between these two sides so far. Final change coming, Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, it's been a quiet afternoon so far by his own high standards for Václav Czerny. His game is over after 85 minutes, and he's going to be replaced by Kieran Dowell.
Goals in his last 2 matches, but he's not going to make that 3 in a row. The man who scored in Nice ends his 21st Rangers appearance by being replaced by Kieran Dell.
I'm surprised at that change, because Czerny, he's done well down this right-hand side with Tavernier this afternoon. But again, we don't know the reasons why. Does it come down to the sports science? Who knows? It looks like that because they're in a good place at the moment, Rangers. Yeah, they're a goal up, but they're playing well and they're looking to get that second goal. I don't see any reason why you would make a change.
Yeah, it could be just overload avoidance. Another game on Wednesday night against Kilmarnock. You'll hear that match here on BBC Radio Scotland. You'll hear to Aberdeen against Celtic. That could be some occasion at Pittodrie as Rangers come forward again. Conor Bannon tries to get there. Danilo thought he took down his man. He was allowed to continue by the referee, and Ray made the save. Everybody in the stadium was waiting for the free kick, but McCulloch went down and the referee was happy with that. The ball is out of play. Simo Valakari, let's just say, he's not best pleased down pitch side, and Ray made the save. Danilo, I didn't actually believed that if he'd scored it was going to count.
Yeah, I honestly believe if he did score it wouldn't have counted, but it's one of those ones that because it's not given by the referee, then they have to keep letting it play. But yeah, it was a coming together. It didn't mean it, but I definitely think VAR would have stepped in if he did score and would have pulled that back.
Johnstone wins the ball on the halfway line coming forward. Rangers in no great hurry. 7,446 in attendance. The ball played inside onto Hadji. Hadji goes to ground. Well, he looks back and he's going to get booked for diving. I think if he hadn't looked back, he might have got away with that one, but he glanced to see where the referee was. Pretty clear that he threw himself to the floor.
Yeah, he obviously is looking for first of all, he's wanting to try and initiate the contact so that, they can get the penalty, but when the contact doesn't come, he's already on the way down, and there's only one option for the referee, to produce that yellow card.
So Josh Wright trying to find a way to get things forward. Ryan, we often think in the last sort of 2 minutes plus stoppage time a team's going to get a chance, but I'm not quite convinced that St Johnstone will at the moment.
And that's, Paul, where I think with St Johnstone, at this time of the game, they've played some nice football at times, but it's time to go long, to try and get a ball over the top, just even look for a second ball, even a mistake from that Rangers back four. They've got to try something different, because if they don't, they're not going to get that opportunity, and Rangers will see this game out.
Launched high in the air, brought down by St Johnstone. A little bit of pinball going on. Nielsen loses out, and Rangers gather through Kieran Dowell. Dowell plays the ball back onto Jones Suter. Suter back onto Jack Butland. Butland, and really so little to do in this second half. Gets the ball away. He's on course for his 11th clean sheet of the season. Rangers leading by 1-0. St Johnstone have the ball in their half, given into the Rangers half. Raskin then hits it against Mackenzie Kirk. Kirk goes back to try and put pressure on Raskin and knocks the ball out of play. At least it keeps Rangers down in that end, Ryan, and keeps the pressure on.
Yeah, it's great by Mackenzie Kirk. I actually think he's played quite well. For a young boy trying to sort of lead the line, I think he's done well. And yeah, they're just trying to keep Rangers in this sort of last, or in their final third, and try and get a mistake or a little sort of goal somewhere. But yeah, I want to try and jinx it and say that you can't see them scoring, but I think the Rangers players have just been so much better the second half, and we're even talking about the St Johnstone boys getting the ball forward. They can't, because the press from the Rangers front 3 or 4 has been so good. It's not allowed the sort of the centre backs time to get their head up and play a ball up front.
Kieran Dowell played the ball forward. St Johnstone gather now. Josh Ray does go route one as the ball was played back to him. Balogun wins the header, drops down, stretching in there. Kucheravi, but he couldn't make anything of it. Kucheravi goes in again. He thumps the ball forward. It was a late challenge on Diamande. He's gone down. Free kick awarded. The referee saying there's a little tug. Kucheravi got the ball away. So again, Rangers will be in no hurry to come and take it. I mentioned Rangers one away win in the SPFL this season. 1-0 at Dundee United. Tom Lawrence, the goal scorer. Now this will still only be 3 goals in 6 away matches for Rangers, which is a concern. But I guess, Derek, the major thing today was to come and get the 3 points as we go into 5 minutes of additional time.
Yes, certainly. I mean, that's the main objective, isn't it? But again, there'll be still fingers pointing out there that Rangers have probably really only performed for 45 minutes this afternoon in the second half. Ryan's touched on it. They've been so much better without the ball in the second half in terms of how they've pressed St Johnstone, and they've not allowed St Johnstone to get into any kind of patterns of play. So where was that in the first 45 minutes? It wasn't there. So the finger's going to be pointed at Rangers. It's got to be, you know, over the course of 90 minutes, not just for the 45 minutes, because you play against better opposition, they'll hurt you. St Johnstone this afternoon have not been capable of doing that, you know, although they've played pretty well, but it looks a game that Rangers are pretty comfortable in the second half.
St Johnstone are struggling to get the ball outside their own half at the moment. It comes from Raymond on to McPake. McPake goes down. Rangers fans not happy. Then McPake just stumbles into Diamondi, who stays on the ground. Neither player makes anything of it, and the referee just says up you get. And the opportunity for St Johnstone to launch it long at stoppage time. Can they find a way? They haven't scored in the last 7 against Rangers. Rangers, well, coming into today, won 7 back-to-back against St Johnstone for the first time since August 93 to November 97. And they'll be on their best run since the very early 90s when they won 10 straight. It hasn't been easy, although the second half performance, as the guys have mentioned, much better. Here's Kieran Dowell as the long ball was played forward, and Rangers easily got the ball back inside the St Johnstone half. Conor Barron takes a touch, thought about going to the corner flag, turns, plays the ball back onto Tavernier. Tavernier just crabbing his way inside the pitch and throws it back to Liam Balogun. Balogun's given an interesting performance. It'll be interesting to see if he actually gets the nod ahead of Proper for the game against Kilmarnock.
I think on today's showing he has to play. I think he just gives all round a much better performance. I think he's probably stronger, faster. He knows Scottish football better. And I think he's been really impressive in this second half compared to Proper in the first two. Like we said, he maybe was carrying an injury, but he just didn't look comfortable at all. And when you compare that to how Balogun's played the second half, it's been a stark contrast.
And the looks, the players in front of him, you know, certainly that midfield, they look a lot more confident, you know, that they know what they've got behind them. You know, they've got somebody that can deal with the pace that St Johnstone had. So that gives you confidence to go and get on the ball and play your stuff. So I think Proper, I tell you, but to be honest with you, Paul, he was so poor, it was unbelievable in the first half. So it was a correct decision to change at half time.
Rangers coming forward again. St Johnstone again slow to get the ball away. Kieran Dowell robs Andre Raymond. Tavernier just wanted time on the ball, and he got it for a moment or two. So too Conor Barron. Back inside to Tavernier. Rangers coming down the right-hand side. Raymond tried to find it. Dowell is strong. He's just holding off. Then a clever little backheel towards Tavernier. Tavernier tried to clip it inside off Kucheravi, but doesn't do anything. Kucheravi, though, doesn't win it. Raymond goes in. Dowell goes to the ground. It's very tight down by the corner flag. And Josh McPake brings the ball away, but there's just no way through. Although Tavernier hit into him. It is a free kick. And St Johnstone, well, they've really just got to go route one here. There's nothing else they can do.
Yeah, have to be a bit of urgency just to get the ball forward. Send the big boys up, try and get a flick on and get something.
Even that ball, you're right, Paul, it's got to go long. You've got to get that Rangers back four turning towards their own goals, you know, and get the press, get the players up the park, try and look for a mistake. Sometimes it's not just about creating something, look for a mistake from the opposition, and they're not even doing that. So they're playing into Rangers' hands at the moment because Rangers are so comfortable.
Rangers get the ball away, but it comes back to McPake. McPake onto Kucheravi, over hits it and goes out of play. It remains St Johnstone 0, Rangers 1. A Jason Holt own goal separates the sides. The ball is out of play. James Tavernier in no great hurry to pick it up and bring it back. So Rangers will stretch their unbeaten run to 6 matches. Big games coming up. Kilmarnock, Ross County, Spurs and a League Cup final. All to come in the next couple of weeks. All the action, of course, on BBC Radio Scotland. Long throw, it takes a bounce, goes out of play. Poor throw in that time by Tavernier. And St Johnstone, Essel lays the ball back. Sanders simply, well, I thought he would have just had to hook it forward. He plays it back to his goalkeeper. His goalkeeper will give it long, but the referee says that is it, it's all over. Well, it wasn't pretty at times. It was a tough old first half for Rangers. St Johnstone played well, but in the second half Rangers were brighter, sharper, stronger, and the goal, well, it might have been scored by St Johnstone's then captain Jason Holt. He was unlucky, couldn't really do anything about it. Hadji had put the ball over, they were waiting to turn it in. He tried to clear it, put it through his own net. That's the return for Rangers this afternoon. St Johnstone, well, they can't find a way past it. It'll be 8 games in a row without a goal against Rangers. Rangers leave McDermott Park with all 3 points. St Johnstone 0, Rangers 1.
St John.